From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
Hello and welcome to Little Rock, and we are excited to be here for Day 2 of our Hometown Sports Volume 2, second year edition of our interviews with coaches across the state, and man, we're glad to have you along. What a great day we had at Fayetteville yesterday, as we had 13 coaches coming in and talking about their teams and just sharing a little bit about what they thought about their teams. It was a good day. I've got Randy Pickrell right here along with me from D3 Auto Sales. He's going to be joining me today, talking football all day long with us. And, man, we're excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for letting us be a part of this.
Yeah, man. D3 has always been a great partner with us, and I'm trying to get this out so that you guys can share it off on your page here in just a moment. And we've got a day full of football today. In fact, they're all gas, no brakes, as they say. It is all day long. We are going to be talking football. We've got, anywhere from the 2A champs to the 7A champs and anything in between. We've got them today, and so we're excited to be here for round 2, day 2. And tomorrow we'd like to remind you that we'll be in Jonesboro and in Camden, bringing you live coverage of preseason high school football interviews from across the state. You're going to have to be a part of 2 channels tomorrow to get that action. That's Arkansas Sports Network and the Arkansas Sports Network High School. We'll put that out there on our page and make sure that you guys know where to go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's bring in Coach Chris Morse of the CAC Mustangs, and he's going to talk about CAC. Coach J.D. Plumley is tied up today, so Coach Morse, he's going to come in and tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Mustangs. Coach Morse, glad to have you along.
Well, thanks for having us today.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. Glad to talk CAC football. I believe a tradition-rich school in football. And let's talk a little bit about what's going on at CAC.
Well, we graduated 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen last year. If you're familiar with J.D. Plumley and Lance Parker's offense at Malvern, it was a run-oriented, as everyone knew, for several years. He brought that to the table. We had really good size last year, graduated those. What people don't understand, they'll see this year, is their system is built in for answers. We have a lot of receivers that were young last year that are returning this year, very talented. Coach Plumley started off in November. They got after it with the details, with skills, with catching, and it's really paid off with it. We have several going on there. Just going down the list of some of the things that we saw this summer, we have sophomore Cooper Mosley. He is 6'1" sophomore quarterback. He actually competed in the Manning camp this past week or 2 weeks ago. In the 7-on-7, he was the only quarterback to not throw an interception in his age bracket, which was really impressive with that. And we really last year he got a little bit of reps in with that. But Jackson Plumley, which we're going to use a lot more, may use that quarterback some, but mainly we'll be able to put him at receiver, running back, because we have a guy that can get the ball out on the edges with all these guys that we have. Brody Vandelberg, he's a junior, very physical. He's going to be able to play on defense and offense for us. We expect him to be really good at blocking at receiver. we'll be able to spread out a little bit more to do that. Hoover Brogdon is a sophomore 6'2" receiver, and he has really developed last year as a freshman to be able to have to play as a freshman. You know, he took his lumps and really did a good job. He's had a good offseason. Colt Van Dyke is another one that we've had that's going to come along. He's a sophomore. Hudson Ritchie, he is a senior. And Richie has played really 3 years for us, and we've relied on him heavily in the past. He was a little undersized with some of the things he did, worked hard in the offseason, has gotten a lot stronger, and that'll help out a lot. We have a lot of speed out of him. Andrew Lowe's another physical guy that we'll have who will play probably in the box a little bit for blocking, but he'll be playing some linebacker with that. Today you'll run into, in a minute, a Landon Allen. He's going to be one of our running backs that we'll rely heavily on to be able to run the ball. We'll do a lot more pass protection this year. He does a good job with his hands at protecting on that to pick up blitzes. Andrew Taylor is another guy that we have that will be a skill guy that will work, that's real physical on defense. And Eli Cash, he's going to be a running back. He's a sophomore, very, very talented young man. You'll be able to see him run the ball a lot, but he comes out of the backfield, and we'll be able to throw the ball to him quite a bit as well. Lucas Tyndall played tight end for us last year. We can spread him out some. He probably has better hands than most of our guys. He started off on the offensive line. We realized how well he did with his hands, so he's going to be able to do that for us. We'll be able to move the ball with him, throwing the ball out there. Luke Brooks and Zach Bissett, they're two guys that we'll have at receiver that will be able to help us to rotate in. They're young, but they're developed, and we're getting them in the weight room, and they'll improve a lot. All these guys have embraced the weight room, and that is the key right there with it. They understand that when we get into it, they're serious about the details. You know, they pull up their bootstraps, they get after it each day, which is nice. Yeah. Finding skill guys that are willing to do something like that, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
With that. But
strength program is pretty big in small sports.
Oh, absolutely. Jordan Watson does a good job. He's our strength and conditioning guy. We hired just a strength and conditioning guy, and all he does is that with boys and girls. And they're lifting 4 to 5 days a week. We're making them eat. I have an area in my office where they have access to food, and it really shows. People understand. They're understanding that stacking these workouts will make a big difference.
Makes a big difference,
sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It sure does.
Absolutely. That's good stuff there. Let's talk a little bit about your team and your schedule here that you guys are going to play this year. Looking at it, you're starting out with DeWitt. DeWitt has had DeWitt has had some good success as of late. You guys are hosting them. Then you host Stuttgart right off the bat, and then you're at Harding Academy. You guys are not easing into the season.
Correct. That's quite a gauntlet that we'll be running into. You know, we started this schedule last year and knew what we were going into. And really, for the most part, all three of these, 2 of the 3, we hung with them for quite a while last year. Going back to the offensive line, that makes a big difference. We were able to be sustainable for a while, but just ran out of gas with playing both ways. And most of these guys these teams are real physical. They've got numbers.
Right.
They're able to platoon with that, and that'll make a big difference. But we feel pretty good about what we have and what we're trying to do. As far as identity goes, and seeing these guys, these teams, we know what we can and can't do. And we're not going to try to be something that we're not, and that'll make a big difference.
It will.
With that.
That strength and conditioning will come into play when you're playing a lot of two-way players.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Going into, and this ties into what we're talking about with these 3 teams up front. We've got returning starter Jackson Allen. He played as a 9th grader for us in our spread offense. He's 6'4", 270. When he went to Arkansas this summer, they really noticed him for the first time. We'll be moving him around a lot against those 3 teams because of the challenge of what they have up front defensively.
Is he a sophomore?
He is a junior.
Oh, he's a junior.
He's a junior.
He's a big old kid.
He is a big kid. And You'll run into Damian Wicker here in a minute. He'll be up here. He's one of our Really, in the past, he's so smart. I've been able to put him anywhere with that. And, we've got Ross Mounts, we got Ethan Brooks, we got Zach Moore. All these guys are interchangeable. Drew Colley in that. And I feel like with this non-conference that we have that we've mentioned, this is going to get us ready for conference because it's going to we'll be able to reveal what we need to work on, who we are, and what we're about. And we kind of already know that. But when the bullets are flying against that non-conference, you really figure out who you are.
You'll know where you are pretty quick.
Now, the biggest challenge is trying to be healthy during that. This past year, we got into Harding Academy. That was a challenge with some of that, so we kind of had to switch gears. We're hoping to not have to do that this year, but when you don't have the numbers that these other schools have, it becomes a challenge with that.
Right, absolutely. Well, I thought you weren't a talker. You said you're not a talker. You've got it. You've covered it well.
He's done a good job, didn't he?
You've covered it well for sure. Looking at your schedule here in the conference season: Heber Springs, Riverview, Hall, Lone Oak, Bald Knob, Mills, and Forest City. Tell us a little bit about your conference slate and what you see in the 4A2.
Well, when you look at our conference, it's going to be just like last year. There will be a fight for kind of the mid-tier teams trying to work through that. Anything could happen with our point system, and you know how that is in Arkansas.
Right.
And being healthy, being able to make it from 1 week at a time and working through that's vital for that. And looking at some of the things that, like Forest City, we really don't know what they're going to be about. They have a new coach, but we know they're going to be athletic and physical. We have those guys at the end of the year. But at the end of the day, we're trying to think about what is next. Who are we going to be running into at first? And when you hit in the conference, every single thing that you do in our conference makes a difference. It's vital that you're prepared because of that dogfight at the end. Who knows what's going to end up at the end?
Where's that Lone Oak game at?
It is at Lone Oak this year. So that's going to be a tough one. Lone Oak has done an awesome job at getting kids back out. They struggled with that, as you've seen in the past few years. But, man, he's done quite a job. Those guys are excited. And really, they look like they know what they're doing. You can tell they've been coached up really well. Right. They have a lot of energy. I don't know if you guys have seen them on film, but you need to watch them because they've got some.
I haven't seen them.
They've got some guys that can get after it, and they want to be there, which makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you've done a great job covering it. We're going to bring in your two players that you've got with us. So tell us just who we're bringing in, and we'll bring them in and talk with them.
All right. We have Landon Allen, which is a senior. Last year, he played more of interior linebacker. We used him at fullback a little bit, whatever we needed him to do. He's one of those utility guys that we've always been able to count on, one of those bootstrap guys where pulled up and he's just willing to do it. In junior high, if I needed him to play on the offensive line, he would get in there.
There you go.
The whole phrase "taking on hell with a squirt gun" that happens at times with some of our guys.
Nice.
If you saw us walking out onto the field, our guys, they don't look like the other team, but when they put their helmets on and get out there, it's a whole different story. And that's the kind of the mentality that we've developed at CAC with that. And we've moved him to corner now. It helps a lot being physical, being used to being inside, so that'll make a big difference with that. And he will get some rotation in at running back, as I said earlier. Damon Wickers, he's a senior. He's one of those guys. He's very intelligent. I know Hendricks has offered him an opportunity to go there to play football. Very smart. I've always been able to use him wherever on the offensive line, wherever we've needed, we've used him. This year he'll be at guard a little bit more. He's played everywhere in the box on defense. When we need him at linebacker, he's going to play linebacker, defensive end, just wherever. Right. So
utility player.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's bring those guys in, and we're gonna talk with them about CAC football. Come on in here, guys. Let's talk a little bit about CAC football. I love this time of year because nobody's lost. Everybody's got optimism, right? Everybody's going to win a state championship right now, right? everybody's got hopes of it anyway. So that's fun. It's fun to talk to guys like you, Coach Morse, and get the lowdown on what's going on with your team, and we're looking forward to that. So tell us a little bit about what it's like playing at CAC.
You got it.
All right. Well, CAC has a different type of mentality than most schools. Never usually have been about the personnel that we go in with. It's more about working as a team and what we can do as a unit. That's what it's always been about, and it shows each day we go into practice, what we do for practice, and all that.
One of the main things that I've noticed over the years is we've never really had like most schools have a ton of people on the team, but we've realized without those kind of numbers that we just need 11 dedicated people. And
Yes.
That's really what we've had is 11 guys who are just ready to be on the field and get after it. And that's, at the end of the day, all you need. And that's what I've seen through CAC football.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think y'all have a heck of a head coach. Coach Morse over here, he sounds like he's got his finger on things, knows what's going on there at CAC as well. So you guys have got a good head. Y'all got good coaches there that I can tell just by talking to you here. Coach Plumlee is a guy that has had some success. Now, looking at your schedule last year, y'all struggled last year, but there were reasons for that. We knew that coming into this year. So what is it going to be for CAC football this year that you guys are able to take that next step from where you were last year to back to where what we know a little bit more about CAC football being more successful?
So with that, it's just been a little bit of a challenge switching from coach to coach each year. And with Plumlee, this is our second year having him, so we'll kind of get more acclimated with the type of football that he likes to play. We'll become more as a team, and I think that's when we'll start showing more success.
Yeah, that's one of the main things for our classes. I don't think we've ever really had a full off season with one coach. So that has really, this offseason, it's really kind of showed us what a real offseason should look like. And going into this next season, I feel like, at least me, we are going to be a lot more confident in what we're doing because we've been working, from the day that our last game ended, we came back that next Monday,
Right.
started getting to work in the morning. So we've really been, all gas, like they say, all gas, no brakes from the day the season ends. So, we've been putting in that work. And one of the things that the coaches have been really preaching to us is that, it takes no talent to give the best effort you can and to be disciplined in whatever you're supposed to be doing. So I think that this season we will be 100%. All 11 players on the field at all times will be giving their best effort and being disciplined in whatever their assignment is. And if we can have that, you can really play with anyone if you have 11 guys who can do that.
No doubt about that. I mean, football, if you play hard, you can play with people, no doubt. I mean, talent does win a lot of games. Speed wins a lot of games. Size wins a lot of games. But if you go out there and you got heart, you can win ball games as well. So it's a very good thing. All right, I want you guys to think about this. When I say this, it will be a successful season at CAC if.
Kind of going with what I just said. I think it will be a successful season if we can get 11 players on the field who are just ready to do whatever it takes to get their job done. And they're not focused on what everyone else around them is doing, but they're just focused on that one assignment that they have for the play. And if we can do that every single play, I think some good things can happen this season.
I think it's all about trust. So if our play style will have to be a little bit different than most teams that we play, and we just can't get it in our head that we have to play like other teams. We have our coaches who are good at doing our coach things, so we just have to trust them.
I think that's good. CAC here talking with us about high school football and their team here in the state of Arkansas. We want to say thank you guys for joining us once again. Coach Morse, thank you for coming down and talking with us about CAC. And, man, we're looking forward to seeing what you guys do this year. Guys, good to meet you. Good luck. And we appreciate it. Make sure that everybody watches this. All right, it's going to be up there from now until eternity. So, so they can watch it. But anyway, guys, have a good one, and we're looking forward to seeing what CAC does. We've got the Pottsville Apaches coming up next. We've got about a 5-minute-ish break. We're waiting on them to enter in and talk with us about what's going on there with them. So with that being said, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the Pottsville Apaches right after this.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment, because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
All right, welcome back here to Little Rock at Baptist Prep High School as we're talking high school football across the state of Arkansas. We're in Central Arkansas today, obviously, being at Baptist Prep High School, and we're trying to get the central part of the state talking football. We already have CAC. They've come in here and really impressed with those guys listening to what they had to say.
Yeah, their players was pretty impressive. You know, when he said that one young man had a scholarship offer for Hendricks, he said he is smart, but, I mean, that's a different level of smart.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Carson, anything stick out to you about CAC?
Well, I completely agree. That was the first thing that I noticed was those were two really, really smart football players. And, you know, you have a hard time. Coach was saying sometimes you have a hard time finding, really hard-nosed football players that are really intelligent as well. And those two guys obviously have a lot of heart and a lot of intelligence as well.
I see we got Pottsville outside. Coach Miller out there, the athletic director here at Baptist Prep as well, legendary basketball coach. Let me tell you, one of the very best. I thought I posted this on Facebook. I guess I didn't. One of the very best basketball coaches out there. We got Pottsville there coming in here in just a moment. Man, this is exciting. Like I said, I love this time of year because nobody's lost. Everybody's optimistic. Everybody feels good about their team. And it's just good to feel that energy, feel that that drive that you have for that new season. So
It's,
anyway,
my first time doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad to be a part of this. D3's glad to be a part of this. You know, the young men that are coming up here to speak
Yep.
are the future of car buyers. So
there you go. There you go.
we're looking for that. Of course, we just like to help out the communities as well. So
Well, you guys are great at that. Let's go ahead and bring Coach Rust in here. Carson, if you'll give him your headset there, we'll bring Coach Rust in. And I'm going to try to get this posted properly here as Coach Rust comes in here. We're talking high school football. And there's a guy that's sitting down here. He knows a little bit about it. He's taken a few turns around the sun in high school football, right?
Been doing it a while.
You've been doing it a little bit now. And you've been doing it at Pottsville a little bit now. I mean, you've been at Pottsville, what, 20 years?
This is starting year 19.
19 for you. So
pretty good tenure.
You've been there. You've been there. So let's talk some Pottsville Apaches. I mean, this is a program that I am familiar with. I see Coach out there. He's getting ready here from England. The England Lions are out there waiting right now. But Pottsville Apaches, 4A4. We talked a little 4A4 yesterday with the Lamar Warriors, and you know Coach Josh Jones very well.
I do.
Very familiar with him. And let me get to this real quick. We want to say thanks to Merchant and Planners Bank of Clarendon and Russellville Nursing and Rehab Center for being a part of our regional sponsorships here in Little Rock. And anyway, you know a little bit about Coach Jones, but one thing that I know about your league right now is your league is about as tough as it's ever been.
It really is. I mean, anytime you have a state title contender in Dardanelle, and of course, you know the thing you know, over the years, and this is going on my 27th year in high school football. You know, you just start to see good coaches and recognize good coaching and how they do things. And you know, in our league, I just feel like at this point is, man, just a bunch of really, really good coaches, you know, along with some really tremendous athletes. So there's nothing easy about it, you know, from top to bottom. You know, it's really, really well-coached teams with some really good athletes, you know, and I've been in it long enough now to realize and to see, you know, I feel like early on you could really outwork people. At this point now, everybody's putting the work in. Everybody's putting the hours in, and it's nonstop. It's you know, almost 365 days a year, along with all the team camps and the 7-on-7s, and again the coaching level with so many guys in our league with the experience they have. You know, just nothing's easy. You have to be tremendously prepared, and you know, and I think it showed last year. I feel like our conference over the years hadn't got a lot of the respect. You know, we're really top heavy, and we're still top heavy in a way. With Dardanelle being, I feel like an elite team right now. You know, the rest of us, I think, are all going to be similar type teams, and it's going to be a battle week in, week out. It's going to be a fun time this year, and I'm really excited to get going.
5 playoff spots on the line in the 3A and the 4A. And, you know, by my count, there's 6 really good teams in the conference. And I know that Dover especially, I don't know a lot about Waldron and what they're doing, but I do know that Dover hired a really good coach over there, and Mark King. So they're not going to just sit down and lay down for anybody. So, again, that 4A4 got a lot tougher.
It did, and last year Waldron with a new coach and a guy that's done a really good job. You know, and again, it doesn't take you long to figure out if you're fast and you're big, you can be pretty competitive in the game of football. So Waldron year in, year out has had tremendous track talent, and it's a big program over there. So I think they continue to get those kids out and keep getting better. You know, last year they were going into it, you know, they beat Ozark early in the year and kind of shocked everybody. And, you know, and we wound up going down, and we had a really, really tough first half against them. And then we kind of stretched it out as the game progressed. And, you know, just one of those things. I feel like they'll be the same way. You know, he's ready to go, and he's hyped up. And, you know, so, again, it's a bunch of teams that are going to be really, really battling it out to the end.
It's going to be some good football in the River Valley on Friday nights this coming year.
Yes,
No
sir.
doubt. No doubt about it. I mean, like you said, Dardanelle, maybe their best. I mean, my count, I've heard 91 of 99 touchdowns coming back from last year.
He probably doesn't want to talk about
right,
that, Brad.
exactly. Well, let me tell you.
We gave him a few.
Right. Well, let me tell you that Pottsville Dardanelle game's a fun one.
Yeah, it is.
It's a fun rivalry there, and it's always that Friday night is a lot of fun there in against those two. It's a really natural rivalry there.
Well, and last year, going into it, I felt like we could battle with them for sure, and in probably the worst start of any football game I've ever been a part of. I think within the first minute and a half to 2 minutes, Justin's over there smiling.
Right.
Like I think we fumbled the kickoff. They score. We had another fumble. We did something else on it. Anyway, they were up 21-0 in like the first 2 minutes, and
that's hard to overcome.
Yes, and we just. But then from that point on, man, we battled and went back and forth with them and kind of cut it down a little bit and scored. I don't know. I think we scored 28 or 30. I can't remember exactly, but if we hadn't had that start, I felt like we could have played with them a little bit longer and made it a little more interesting. So hopefully we can do that this year, figure out a way to slow those guys down because, again, they do have a lot of talent.
New coach in the league, Coach Josh Watson of Salem, coming off a 3A state championship. Ozark, I know that those fans over there at Ozark and that group of people over there, they want to see a little bit more out of their program. Coach Jeremy Burns did a great job over there. But you know what? Coach Watson coming over, bringing a little bit of new blood in there, bringing a little excitement over there to Ozark.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We've seen them at team camps and stuff. And, again, Ozark's one of those teams that, unbelievably tradition-rich, for a lot of years. I'm originally from Boonville, so with the Boonville Ozark thing's been going on. I'm 51, so I remember it from being, my first years at school there. So Ozark has always been a huge tradition town of football, and they always have talent. Their grandparents, parents, everybody's all played football. It's how the town is wired, and Coach Watson does a great job, and he's going to be a little different than what Coach Burns did. They're going to be a run-heavy team, and he was going to want to keep it on the ground, so you're going to have to stop the run. They're going to want to play physical, and so again, one of those teams where they've got all the talent in the world, and they always have. So they're going to be tough to deal with.
Now this was 3A last year. Of course, I know you probably don't keep up with that. You got your hands full of 4A.
Sure.
But when they went into the playoffs last year, they got hot, and nobody could stop them on the ground. I mean, they were something else last year, and so that was an interesting run that they had to make it to the 3A state championship game. And I told him on the phone one day, I was like, man, when y'all beat Rivercrest 50-18, I was like, we probably should have knew who was about to win the state championship, because that's Rivercrest over there, man. They can play some ball over there. So anyway, well, Coach, I want you to introduce who you've got, your players here, and we're going to bring them in, have them talk a little bit about Pottsville Apache football.
Well, I brought with me Caleb Stansel, both seniors, Caleb Stansel and Andrew Wells, guys, I've known them since they were little bitty. Caleb's uncle, Jeremy Ward, played for me way back when, and Caleb's been running around that field for many years, and Andrew's been there too. And it's great to grow up in the place and be around kids and see them since they were little.
Right, absolutely.
And these guys have grown up Apaches, and they're really, really excited about the season. Caleb plays linebacker and fullback for us, and had a great year last year, and he's being pretty recruited by I think he's got like 3 offers now, and Andrew Wells he plays a little bit on both sides of the ball. He's kind of our Swiss Army knife a little bit. He can do anything offensively for us, but his major contribution is he'll play a corner and a little bit of safety. He can play anywhere, but probably at corner most of the time this year.
All right, well, let's bring them in and let's talk to them a little bit about Pottsville Apache football. Caleb Stansel, Andrew Wells here joining us for Pottsville Apache football. Glad to have you guys over here talking a little bit. Y'all have got to be excited, right?
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
every year it's just fun. You know, I was talking about CAC, coming in here, and they come off a tough season, but the optimism of a new year and what can happen in that new year, and I know there's expectations over in Pottsville.
Yes,
we
sir.
know that. We're very familiar with the Pottsville program. So talk about a little bit about what you guys think about your team and what you see right now with your team and in your practices and your 7-on-7 and all that.
I feel like with our team, we have like a really good work ethic. My bad. And I feel like we like to get stuff done. I feel like that's one of our biggest specialties. Like, we might not have like the biggest guys and stuff, but we got a bunch of guys that want to work and want to get better every day.
Yes, sir. We got a group of guys that really care. Last year we also did, and we had all the talent, but we got off track a little bit, But this year we got a group of guys that really want it. We don't really have the name. We haven't had, the individual name, but we all really work hard, have good ethic, and really expect a lot out of the season, especially if we stay on the right track,
Yep.
What does that look like for you guys when you say stay on the right track? What does that mean?
I feel like just like practice, like just work on the little things. Like, little things matter, and they lead to big things and stuff. And I feel like just if you get those little things done, then it'll just all come together. I feel like, and I feel like that's what our team's doing. Like, a lot of underclassmen have stepped up this year and stuff, and it's from junior high and stuff. And all the sophomores, they're pretty solid. They're very aggressive and just want to get stuff done. And our seniors, I feel like we really want to get stuff done, and we really want to have a great season, and we're going to do whatever it takes to have a winning season.
Now, you're a senior. Are you?
Yes, sir.
So both seniors. What's it like knowing this is possibly the last go-round? You've got some offers.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what your plans are, but, this could be possibly the last go-round. You've played from Pee Wee all the way up. What's the urgency for you to have a good season with this being your last go-round?
I mean, the past couple of years we've always known that it was coming. At some point we're going to be seniors, and we've always just fell a little short of our goals, and we know we could have done better, but locker room talk and just some other things that put us in the wrong direction kept us from actually getting there. So we know coming into this season that could be our last opportunity, and we just really want to push each other and work hard to get. We want a couple of wins in the playoffs this year. We want a deep run. We really want it. So. Well,
because I'm familiar with you, I know that last year you guys had Malvern beat.
Oh, I know. I know.
You had them beat. We were, I can't even remember where I was, but I was getting updates from Justin, and he's like, what was it, 3 scores, 2 scores, whatever it was. And then we were peeking in on the game, and, of course, we see Malvern come back. I know it was heartbreaking. But I also know this, that y'all have been down to Malvern a couple times now in the playoffs,
Yes, sir.
and y'all have played with them. You've played them tough. Malvern is one of those teams that when you mention 4A football, they're up there at the top. I mean, they've got a state championship within the last 3 or 4 years there. They play in that 4A7 that's a very tough conference, and they're usually up there at the top. That's got to give you a little bit of confidence.
Yes, sir, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we had them beat and stuff. It's just that we kind of got a little bit comfortable and stuff and kind of let them score a few times, and we can't let that happen and stuff.
Justin's talking to us. He's the producer down there. He's telling us.
Losing Miller Mahan didn't help none either. That was tough to lose to him at the start of the game.
I feel like our sophomore quarterback, he stepped up, though. Like, in a playoff game as a sophomore, that's hard on a player, and I feel like he did the best he could.
Well, since you touched on that, let's talk about that real quick. We've got a few minutes here. Let's talk about your quarterback. Quarterbacks are very important.
Yes, sir.
Offensive line is very important. But when you talk about a quarterback, a sophomore quarterback that got playoff experience, have you seen something out of him that might have helped him, maybe even if it's just confidence-wise, knowing that he could come in and do it?
You want to say something?
Yeah, Court, he's a really great guy. He don't talk a whole lot. But he's really a leader and all around in the huddle. He brings a really good morale and keeps the team steady and keeps things going, and with him being in the playoffs, it showed what he can do, and he really surprised a lot of people, and it made us all happy. Now that what he did, it was just he did a good job, and we're all happy. And I don't really know, but he's a good guy.
He's got a state record for the longest pass in state history. 99 yards.
Yeah, I remember that.
99 yards. He's got it. All right, guys, last thing before I let you go. It will be a successful season at Pottsville
if we just keep doing what we're doing. If we keep working hard in the weight room, keep working hard just on the little things, like I said, I feel like we'll have a really good season and stuff. If we just keep our minds forward and don't look back, I feel like we just keep looking forward.
Yeah, what he said, it's the work ethic, and working hard,
right?
Being good, talking up, not tearing each other down. We had some issues with that last year, and it's just staying focused and knowing that we can do it if we really work hard. And
all right, guys.
Sir, yeah, thank you for having us.
Looking forward to seeing what you guys do this year. Pottsville Apaches, they've got a great schedule coming up in the 4A4. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. We've got the England Lions on deck here. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the England Lions right here on the Arkansas Sports Network.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is HomeTown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. HomeTown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity. From the hills of northwest.
All right. Welcome back as we've got another team here, man. I'm telling you, this is going to be nonstop today. It is people in and out all day long. And we're glad to have you along, Coach Jackson.
Yes,
right?
sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, England Lions. And, man, let me recognize some sponsors real quick before we get into this conversation. D3 Auto Sales, Arkansas Tech University, Tyson Foods, and Metcalf Trucking. We want to thank them. Also, regional sponsors for the Little Rock region here, Merchant and Planters Bank, member FDIC, Clarendon, Arkansas, and then Russellville Nursing and Rehab Center. We want to say we appreciate those guys for being a part of this, making this possible. Coach Jackson here, your England Lions. You know, that's a somewhat a tradition-rich community for football over there. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in England.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I kind of took over England right before school let out, probably May-ish, and that was kind of one of the things that's kind of interested me in the job, is that it is a kind of athlete-rich, tradition-rich community, and I felt that maybe I can, if I had the opportunity, I could come and kind of bring some excitement back to the program and try to bring some of that tradition back. Right now it's kind of bad. It's kind of shifted to where basketball's kind of the sport there now. So hopefully here in a few years that we can get back to where everything in England is rolling.
That's it. You know, just because basketball's rolling in the school doesn't mean that football can't, or vice versa. And of course, you know, that's a I say a struggle, but it's something that you guys at a 2A school especially, you got to share athletes, right? I mean, if you're going to be any good, you got to share them.
Yes, sir. That's kind of what I said when I had an interview in a paper a few weeks ago, is that we don't get the privilege of some of the bigger schools that only have offense or defensive players. We've got to kind of share every athlete. We got to do everything together and work together as a school district and as a school to where we can make the program successful.
There's probably as many athletes walking the halls in England as there is at most 2A schools in Arkansas.
Or maybe even
bigger.
More.
Bigger, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have some athletes down there.
Yes, sir. They're definitely walking around. Had the privilege to meet a couple of them, and they're all great kids.
Being pretty familiar with y'all, being from Des Arc, so we used to be in the same conference, so I know how it is down there. And your basketball coach, he's a good guy too. So
yes, sir. Coach Morgan is a great guy. I like him.
I mean, you guys had a guy playing in the Super Bowl, right? Isn't that right? A couple years back?
Yes, sir. B.J. Thompson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's something that I would think excites. It's got to excite kids from England to know that, hey, look, just because we're from England doesn't mean that we can't get there, you know?
Yes, sir. And I kind of preach to the guys every day that if you want it, if you earn it, and you work for it, like, it can happen. Just, like I said, Mr. Thompson from just small England, he's made it. He's playing for Super Bowl. Yeah, he can do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it.
They'll find you if you're good enough.
Yes,
you put
sir.
in the work.
That's right. Of course, it doesn't hurt to be 6'4",
it doesn't
235.
hurt. Right? You can't coach that.
That's always great.
God blessed him with some genetics. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit. As you said, this is your first year taking over. Team struggled a little bit last year, did not make the playoffs. Looks like let's see here, 4-6 record overall for them, 3-4. So you just missed the playoffs there last year. Talk about your plight to get your team back to the playoffs.
Well, I've always went in with a one-game mentality, and I tell them, like, we can't worry about whoever we're going to get in the first round, second round in August or September. So if we just do what we're supposed to do and take care of each game each week, everything else will work itself out. We've kind of already set down some team goals, and that's one of our goals this year is to try to make the playoffs. Now I know that being a new coach in a new conference, that you don't get any freebies. Nobody's going to take it easy on me. I'm going to get everybody's best shot every Friday night, and I think we're up to the challenge.
Bigelow starting out Friday the 29th. You're jumping right into it, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that schedule.
Where's that game at? Is that in England?
It's in England.
The mosquitoes will still be out. Them guys ain't used to mosquitoes, so that gives you a touchdown right there.
Boy, I tell you what, when you get over that eastern part of the state, that is a real thing there. At Drew Central versus Mayflower, I mean, that's a tough non-conference to start off. Then your conference. Let's talk about your conference a little bit. Poe and Hazen, Baptist Prep, Clarendon, Hampton, Carlile, and Bearden. That's the two that stick out to me. You got Hazen and Carlile, but then you also got Poe and up and coming. Baptist Prep played really well last year. Clarendon's always got athletes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And really, before I got the job, I wasn't really too familiar with most of this conference. But since I've interviewed, I've kind of been checking up on everybody, and I think everybody's got a good shot. Those 4 playoff spots are going to be tough for whoever, and I think that Carlisle's got a pretty good team. I think they went undefeated, or maybe dropped one last year. I think they'll be a pretty tough opponent. Hazen's really good. They're tradition rich. Poland, I'm not really familiar with Poland, but I've seen the quarterback on film, and I think he's a pretty good athlete. I think they've got some more pieces around him. So I think if we can do what we can do and just play our brand, I think that we can be able to battle with some people and, I don't know, maybe surprise some people later on.
Yeah, just get your kids to buy into what you're getting them to buy into, and you be 2 legs up on most teams.
Yes, sir. That's the biggest thing is buy-in.
Buy-in, especially small school.
Yeah, so tell us, you say your brand of football. What is your brand of football?
Our brand of football is just going to be really detail-oriented, like earn. Little things matter in my system and in my eyes. Like there's a difference. I tell the guys all the time, just there's a difference between a 2-yard slant and a 5-yard slant. Like there's difference. Right. The play looks different. So just following the little things, not beating ourselves, not getting behind the chains. I think if we could play mistake-free football, that we'll have a good shot in most of our games.
How many players do you have on your team this year?
Right now, I would say our current roster is probably 25, 28-ish.
That's pretty good size.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Well, that's good. In fact, talking your conference, I got one of them. They're sitting right there. They're going to come and talk about themselves a little bit here in a minute. Let's talk about your players here. You've got 3, so we're going to do in 2 shifts here.
Yes, sir.
Your first 2. So here's what we need to do. The one that's going to talk the most probably needs to be the solo, and the 2 that are going to talk the least, they probably need to come in and talk a little bit along with each other. So tell us your 2 non-talkers or less talkers.
Yes, sir. So I've got Jerry Mendoza. He's one of our offensive defensive linemen.
Okay.
He's also probably our strongest guy on our team right now. And we've got Melvin Parks. He's one of our linebacker, fullback type, and he's one of our seniors that will be graduating here this season. And just since I've gotten here, he's been one of the guys that's kind of been stepped up and been a leader and recognized and kind of just done things right. So I wanted to bring him on today and let him kind of get an interview process.
Yeah. One thing I had to ask you, where did you come from?
Lone Oak.
Lone Oak, okay. All right. Well, let's bring those 2 guys in and let's talk a little bit of England line football here. I'm not going to lie. When I see that 52 on you, I think, boy, you don't look like a 52. You look like a 22 or maybe a 15, you know. So
yes,
tell me a little bit about that. What position you play?
I play linebacker and fullback. Well, last year I played pretty much lineman. So, and I'm a pretty small guy. I was a little bit bigger. I was a little bit bigger back then.
Yeah,
yes,
you've lost a little weight, getting in shape, right?
Yes, sir.
And they say you're the strongest guy on the team, huh? What does that mean? When I say that, what do you lift? What makes you the strongest guy on the team?
I squat 500, bench 265, power clean 225.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. You're pretty strong. Squatting 500, that's pretty good. Well, let's talk about England line football. What have you seen since Coach Jackson's come in?
Well, I've seen, we've been working harder. Like, he made us stronger as a team whole. Like, everybody, bench and max went up. Pretty much all of us, got stronger.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yes, sir. He pushed us to make us stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen my squat before he came was 405.
Okay.
And the 2 months he was here, it went up a lot.
Went up. So you guys are getting stronger in the weight room. That's important.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it really is. It changes the game. You know, a lot of these coaches come in, they talk about, everybody's well coached now. You can't out-coach people. So what it boils down to is execution. But it's hard to execute something when, the guy on the other side of you benches 100 more pounds than you do.
Yes, sir.
Maybe a little faster than you are. Football is a game that the bigger and the faster win a lot. Not always, but a lot. And so those weight room gains are a big deal. That's a big deal for you guys. So you guys, let me ask you this. Who do you want to beat the most on your schedule?
Pretty much we're just wanting to win, make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Really everybody.
You don't have a team.
No, sir.
Not Carlile?
I mean, they're part of the journey to beating everybody.
There you go. You got to win all of them, right?
Yes,
I mean, you don't go out there to lose. That's for sure.
Yes,
all right, real quick before we bring your teammate in, tell us what will make a successful season at England this year.
I mean, if everybody buy-ins and be aggressive as we've being aggressive, and keep our head on the right track, have positive mentality, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
If everybody wants it bad enough, then we'll succeed.
Tell me who we're bringing in here to talk with us.
Bring in Cooper Price.
Price,
linebacker.
All right, come on, Cooper, bring him. Come on in here, bub. So you're the talker, right?
Yeah. Oh man, this is weird in here. Yeah, sorta.
Well, are you getting one ear? Is that what it is?
No, I'm getting them both.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So you're a linebacker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about playing linebacker.
Well, I've been playing on the senior high team since 9th grade. I've been starting, and I think my favorite thing about playing linebacker position is I don't got to worry about getting hit by other people. I can do the hitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me when you're what's that mentality? What's it like to get up for every game? You gotta, because I guarantee you, I know that there are running backs that you think, I know you want to hit them, but you know they're going to hit you back.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I look forward to contact, and I like meeting them in the hole.
Yeah.
Really just anything, man.
You're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Like before every game, usually I play my favorite music. I just get pumped up, and then go out there and just ready to headhunt.
You got to get some energy before a football game. If you go out there flat, you're going to get run over.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's it like playing in the conference you play in?
It's a tough conference, man. Hazen's pretty good. Carlile, they've been beating us past 5 years, probably 6 years. Poen just got added to our conference last year. They're a solid team. They beat us, but got a tall quarterback. He's pretty good. Let's see, who else do we have? We have Bearden in our conference. They're pretty good. They beat us last year. We beat them the year before. Who else do we have in our conference?
You got Clarendon. You got Hampton now. Hampton, a team that's going to have a lot of athletes.
Hampton.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw their abilities last year. They'll definitely probably come back better this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's our conference this year. But I think we've been working really hard this off season. We got a new culture kind of coming with our old coach leaving. Our new coach brought in a lot better attitude, and all the kids are more bought in this year.
Bought in. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You got to be bought in. Everybody's got to be pulling together, or it's hard to win that way.
For sure.
For sure. Tell me why it's going to be a better season. I know we've talked about culture and all that stuff. What can make a better season for England this year?
I think a better season for England this year. If everybody just stays like to the plan, if everybody just shows up every day, puts in the work, they got to want to win. They got to be hungry, stay hungry all season, I think. And I feel like a big thing about us last year is we were a first half team. Like we weren't able to finish, and I feel like this year, because we've been doing a lot more conditioning, a lot more working out, a lot more getting used to it, so I think that we can finish games this year.
I think that's a good thing, man.
Of course.
Well, man, appreciate you joining us.
Yes, sir.
England Lions joining us here on the Arkansas Sports Network, and here in just a few moments, we're going to have the Carlile Bison coming in and talking to us about their upcoming season. So hang with us. We'll be back here in just a moment.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future. but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, well, we are honored today to be joined by Carlile Bison head coach Gary Wilson. I had the privilege to interview him last offseason. I'm happy to have you with us again here, Coach. It was a great interview last offseason. I want to start by talking about just give me a general overview of your program. Just tell us about what's going on with Carlile football since we last saw you guys.
Well, we had a really good season last year that we're proud of, but didn't end the way that we wanted it to or expected it to. And I think like any good program would do, they kind of use that to fuel them through the off season. We had a really good off season, got bigger and stronger and faster. Probably like everyone's telling you they did, but we feel really good about it. And we've had a really good summer as far as 7-on-7 goes, team camp. Just really pleased with the work that our kids are putting in right now and the buy-in from the guys too.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys are bringing back and what you guys lost from last season.
I'll just start defensively since that's kind of my baby on that side. We've got 7 guys coming back on defense from what was statistically, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong here, but either the top or number 2 scoring defense in 2A and one of the top 10 defenses in all classifications. But we returned 7 starters, got 3 starters back in the defensive backfield. So we really like what we got there. We got a good blend of speed and length back there. 3 out of 4 starters back at linebacker, and all those guys are bigger and they're faster and they understand the scheme. They can all cover. They'll all hit you. And then 2 back on the defensive line, I do believe, or 1 full-time starter back, a guy that's got about 18 career sacks, and then some other guys that were heavy rotators. So we've got a lot of experience coming back on defense and guys that have been in the scheme since the 7th grade and understand what we want to do and our philosophy. So that's big. And then on the offensive side of the football, we bring back 4 out of 5 guys on the offensive line. So we're really excited about that.
That's huge.
It is. Last year we thought, that as explosive as we were on offense, we didn't run the ball nearly as well as we wanted to. And, and that hurt us at times. So we've got 4 guys coming back. We've got a running back coming back that I think can run for 2,000 yards if he gets the chance.
Yeah, he looked pretty good last year at times.
He's a good one, man, and he's a kid that's up to almost 180. He'll squats 450. He runs a 4.5 40. Like, he's got all the measurables, and he's a tough kid. He's good. And then we've got to replace some production at wide receiver. Our 2 slots are gone, but we really like the guys we got coming back. And then we've got the kid that I told you has got about 18 career sacks, is also a 6'3", 200-pound wide receiver for us.
That's pretty good size in 2A.
Yeah, he's got a chance to play at the next level on either side of the ball.
That's good there. That young man sitting over there, he grew quite a bit this past offseason. We're just talking about him.
He's an okay player for us over there. He's a good-looking one.
So last season, you guys specifically, I know your schedule was pretty good to you guys as far as how many wins you had, but you guys played Junction City in the regular season, beat them pretty easily after a little bit of a slow start, and then in the playoffs, they came out, they ran the ball really well. What do you think that your team has learned from last season to this season that might get y'all over the hump and get y'all to that state championship game?
Well, hats off to Junction, man. They punched us in the mouth, and they beat us up in the playoffs, and they were the best team for sure that night. But I think that game taught us, to me, how we have to get back to being able to run the football on offense and making sure defensively that we're able to stop the run. That was the biggest takeaway for me. So
when you're low on numbers, being able to run the ball and control the clock, that's big. When you don't put your defense right back on the field when you're having to get beat in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
By teams like that.
So tell me about your schedule this year, because you guys usually, from what I've seen, I mean, you guys have had a lot of success, and part of that might be because of how tough y'all's non-conference is every year. You guys schedule some really tough teams. So tell me about your non-conference, why you guys scheduled it the way that you did, and then going into the conference, maybe some games that you guys are anticipating a little bit more than the others.
Well, when I think about the non-conference schedule, when I go to schedule, I always try to do something like I try to find a school that traditionally Carlile wouldn't play. Like, take our kids somewhere they've never been, see something they haven't seen, just play somewhere new. So that's always one thing that goes into non-conference scheduling, and we always want to make sure that we've got that one really, really tough game going into it where we know exactly where we stand and what we work on. And traditionally that's been Des Arc. We don't want to go into conference play playing 3 games where we could have just shown up and games that make us feel good about ourselves. Like, we need to know what we have to improve on and what we have to be better on. And so this year we go to Lake Village to start the year. Next week, Palmer, Mississippi. I don't know a lot about them. A school from Mississippi, we're going to play them. I'm sure it's the first time we've played an out-of-state school in Carlile, so they're going to come to us this year. We're going to go to them next year. And we got a bye week, and then we'll get ready for Des Arc. So, and that's always a big one. They do a great job down there, and their kids they're tough and they play hard, and it's always I think a good test for both teams, so they know.
Absolutely, it is.
To conference, and then as far as conference goes, I think there's a lot of improved teams this year. I mean, I wouldn't talk about our conference without talking about Hazen first. Coach Basankin and those guys do a great job, and I thought last year was just a really good example. A slow start for them, but then when we played them, we played them in week 10. That's a different football team. They figured out what they're going, what they are then, and they've got the Pinckney kid coming back, quarterback. He's a really good player, so they're gonna have it figured out. They're never going to be bad.
He's got some wheels. Pinckney does. If he gets to the corner, he
does. And then the Barretts at Poen always do a really good job. Their kids are going to be tough and disciplined, and they're going to be fundamentally sound. And they bring a quarterback back that's been, I think, will be a 4-year starter for him, and he's a coach's son, so he knows the game, and so that'll be a tough game for us. And then Bearden's gotten better every year. And they've got a running back they're going to bring back that's a really good kid, and I'm sure they feel good about where they're at this year too. So.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are planning on doing on offense. I know a few years ago you guys were very run-heavy back when you had J.J. Sullivan on the team, and then you guys kind of transitioned to more of a spread this year with Ty Tanksley and the way he can air it out. And then you have the Elliots have been great runners as well. So, just tell me a little bit about what you guys are going to be doing on offense, and then I know that you're a defensive guy, so tell me a little bit about your defense as well.
Offensively, we're going to, we've got a new OC coming in. Coach B.J. Harrison, he was OC at Hazen when they won their state title. He was there for a little bit. He's been at Sylvan Hills, and I know firsthand how difficult it is to stop what he wants to do. He does a great job, So we're just gonna try to be balanced. I mean, and we've lost 2 guys at receiver. We lost 3, but we've got really good guys coming back that understand space. They understand spacing. They understand how to work to get open. And that guy over there that you'll get to talk to is one of them. They're just really good football players. So you might not see as much down the field passing this year. It might be more quick game, timing routes, work to space. But then we're gonna run the football because you brought up Jason Sullivan, and I love Jason, and he's the best one that I've been around. And no pressure to Jaden. I don't know if Jaden is Jason Sullivan, but this Jaden Elliott's special, and I think a lot of people will see that this year. We're really excited about him. So we just want to make you defend the whole field still.
If you can be balanced, that's dangerous in 2A. I mean, you was last year. I mean, you weren't as balanced as you wanted to be, you said, but that passing game was, it was on point most of the time.
Yeah,
so.
we just want to make you defend everything. We don't want to let you load the box to take the run away and then not be able to throw the ball at all. We want to make you wrong, whatever you decide.
Exactly.
To do.
So, talk to me a little bit about this group of seniors that you have. Being from a small town, a small school, these guys probably, a lot of them grew up with each other and really have a good, solid bond. So tell me a little bit about this senior class and what makes them special.
Well, I've been with these guys since 7th grade. It's the first group that I've been with all the way through, and I know what I'm going to get with them. I know that they're going to show up every day. I know that they're tough kids. I know that they'll fight you, on the field, not fist fight on the field, but I know they're not going to back down from anybody on the field. And I know they'll give us everything they have because I know Carlile football is important to those guys, and I know they're going to hold each other accountable. That the 2 guys that you're going to talk to right now, one's been a 3-year starter for us. One would have been a 3-year starter for us if we'd have had him for all 3 years. And they make sure that their teammates do the things they're supposed to do, and if they don't do it, they hear about it. It's not just from the coaches,
It's from the fans.
Yeah, we've got that, and then those guys over there are going to hold their other teammates accountable if it's not done up to the our standard. So it's big. We've got good leaders in our senior class.
Yeah, tell me about the community at Carlile. Obviously, that's a big thing for you guys. You guys. I've been to some Carlile games. You have great community support there. The Friday night lights in Carlile are a big deal. So just tell me a little bit about that.
I don't know that you'd be hard pressed to find a community in 2A that supports their high school football team more than ours. And I think what makes it special in 2A is that the fans know these kids. They've known them since they were probably born. They've known their parents, and they're not just showing up and cheering for a number on Friday night. They're cheering for kids that they know. That being said, they expect you to win too, so the expectations are high, going all the way back to when Coach Clayton took over in '89, and you're looking at like 10 or 11 years in a row where it was 10-0 every year and conference championships every year, and that's they don't necessarily expect that, but they expect you to win, and the tradition's there, and I mean we expect to win too, and I don't think me or our kids would want it any other way than to have those kind of expectations.
A lot of times the team on the other side, the parents know your kids too. 'Cause you take the Desert, Hazen, Carlile community, and those kids have played Pee Wee football against each other for their whole life. Most of the parents know everybody. It's just
I played at Carlile, and a lot of the guys I coach now at Carlile, I either played with their dad or knew their parents, and then we play Hazen, and I'm coaching against kids whose I know their parents.
Exactly.
I played against and grew up with their parents. So
it's different over there.
It is.
So I'll give you one last question before we bring in your players over here. Tell me a little bit about the culture at Carlile. We talked about that a little bit with the community, but what's your culture of your football team? How much you guys invest in the weight room versus going to team camps and doing 7-on-7s and things like that, and what you guys do in practice? Just the way that you orchestrate your football program. Kind of tell me about that.
I don't know that we do anything that I would tell you that we have like a special formula that we do different than anyone else. I mean, we believe in the weight room. Like we're going to lift. We lift 4 days a week. The day that we don't lift, we use it for a mobility day because we want to be able to move too. I mean, we speed train twice a week, and then we'll team camp and 7-on-7 in the summer. And I just think that our kids start doing that in the 7th grade. so they know that it's they know it's important to the coaches if we're having them do it in the 7th grade. So they know it's important to them the whole way through, and they know that when they go to the weight room, they know they're there to work. And our guys just do a great job doing that. And I think they enjoy working out, and we try to make the atmosphere not like they're at boot camp. That we want them to look forward to working out. They go in there, they have fun, and I think that helps us out a lot too. And our guys just show up, man. We don't have issues with worrying about whether guys are going to be at practice or they're going to be where they're supposed to be.
That's big right there. Because some places do.
Yeah. We've got, I think, 31 on the roster, and, if a guy's not going to be there, we know they're not going to be there. They'll have communicated the night before with the coach. They'll let us know what was going on, and I just, it's luckily for us, it's just, 7th through 12th.
Well, I think I attended 3 or 4 Carlile games last year, which is a bunch for me, but I can just tell that your kids have bought into what you're trying to do. I mean, like, if you've had them since the 7th grade, that's the reason why. It's when they buy in like they have, it's good, and there's always a bunch of good kids out there.
And it makes it a really, really fun group to coach too.
Exactly.
And our seniors they're a really fun group to coach.
So go ahead and introduce these 2 guys we're going to be talking to.
We've got Bentley Parker back there. Bentley will be a 3-year starter for us. I don't know that I've ever been around a tougher kid than Bentley is. I mean, he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, but he'll weigh, what are you, like 155 right now, Bentley? If Bentley tackles you, it's 155 pounds in the tackle every time. Like, he's going to lay everything he's got on the line for Carlile football. He's a kind of a football junkie. There have been times where he's messaged me on a Saturday to let me know that he doesn't like coverages that he sees that someone's running at the college level. And he watches film. He knows the scheme. And with him, I know, with him being on the back end, he knows how everybody's supposed to be lined up. And if something's not right, he sees it before I do back there.
That's pretty big when you got somebody that's smart like that.
Or he relays it to me, and we get it fixed. And, this year you're going to see him on the offensive side. He's been behind a couple guys that were all-state for us. And but he's gonna do a lot of good things on offense because he understands space and how to work to space. He's got really good hands, and when he catches it, he's gonna fight for every yard. And if it hits his hands, he's not gonna drop it either. The other guy is Colton Bartley. Colton he's a 2-year starter for. Like I said, he would have been a 3-year starter if we would have had him.
Right.
But Colton's had a fantastic offseason. He played 185 last year. Played at 185 last. He's 6'3", so he played at 185 last year, and then he came to me and said, "Hey, I want to weigh 220 for next season." And I was like, "Oh, let's make that happen." And I don't know that we've got.
You're pretty close, I bet.
Depending on the day, it's probably anywhere between 210 and 215. But Colton is a really good athlete. Colton can defensively, we can use him. He plays outside backer for us, but the spot that he plays, depending on what we see front wise, we'll walk him down and make him a defensive end. He can rush the passer. He's good in coverage, and he's here recently. There are a lot of people that have, at the next level that have started to notice him.
You can't coach that.
No, he's a tough kid too. Really good player, really tough kid, and he doesn't mind getting on his teammates if there's something that's going on that's
got to have that
the way it's
person
supposed to be. So, and then offensively, he's got a role on offense too. But if you ask him, he'd probably tell you that he's a defensive guy first. Yeah,
you want to hit somebody.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring those guys over. Coach, good talking to you.
Thank you all
Good
very
to see
much.
you again.
While we're waiting on the players to get up here, we want to be sure to thank the Carlile Athletic Booster Club for sponsoring this interview with the Carlile football team. Appreciate them for making this happen for all the fans out there.
Yep. Thank you, Justin, for getting that in for us. All right, Colton and Bentley, good to have you guys here today. Obviously, your coach is pretty impressed with both of you, but I'll start with you, Colton. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to play for Coach Wilson.
It's like playing for a dad. I've known him since my 7th grade year. Made a lot of decisions based off of him. Helped me make a lot of outside of football decisions, too. Great guy. I know what he tells me is going to be the way to go. Pretty confident in what he has to do.
Bentley, how about you?
Yeah, Coach Wilson, he knows a lot about football. He knows like he's the best for a defensive coach that I've been around. He's been my coach in 7th grade, coaching the defense.
and he'll get us lined up every game that's going to be the best for who we're playing and what we're going to see. And he knows before what's going to happen and what we need to do to be able to stop that.
So, Colton, Coach Wilson said that you came to him and said you wanted to be bigger for this season. What was your motivation behind that?
I was playing Poen, and he was talking to Gabe Boyle about weight, maybe making fun of him, giving him a hard time. And then I was looking around like I wanted to be bigger because I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, man, I'm pretty skinny. I was pretty much a toothpick at 6'3", 185. And I knew I wanted a chance to go play at the next level, so I chose to get bigger.
And Bentley, he really talked about your football IQ and how much football you watch. So tell me a little bit about your passion for the game.
Yeah, so I watch college football every weekend. I love watching film, so I can see what we're going to see the next week or what we did that week that I feel like we could do better. And I like to watch myself a lot to see if I'm not getting downhill quick enough or if I'm not noticing that it's a pass, or just to be able to get in the box and to stop the run. I like that a lot. So if there's a tight end, I know that I can get downhill faster, and so I can get man with the tight end and get downhill and to be able to get in the box and fit quicker to the run and then just be ready for the pass at all times.
So this is a question that both of you guys are welcome to answer, but looking at y'all's schedule this year, you guys play some teams that are close to y'all, like we talked about, Hazen and Desart. You guys might know some of those guys and grown up with some of those guys. So tell me, are there any games on your schedule this year that you guys are particularly looking forward to?
Them Eagles, Desart, we want to beat them. They've talked a lot, known them, so they all have my number. We've heard that all year. We're sick of it. We're ready to put it down.
Bentley, you have any games you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so I always look forward to the Desart game, like you said, and Hazen, because we've always been rivals with Hazen, and then Desart as well. I like England game a lot, and then all of our conference games, they just mean a lot because we know that's good seeding for us for the playoffs. So we always take those games really serious, and in all the non-conference games. So it all matters to us, and we're all locked in and ready to go at all times wherever we're going to see.
So playing at Carlile under the Friday night lights, what does playing for Carlile mean to you guys, and what is that atmosphere like for people who don't know in Carlile on a Friday night?
A lot of just playing time in front of your uncles, your dad, your mom. They've all graduated from there. It's carrying on a tradition pretty much. It's born into it kind of thing.
Yeah, Carlile, we're all the fans, everybody in the town is really big on football. So we know what we have to do and basically just carry on what we've had the past years. We know that we've been good the past years, so we don't want to be the group that doesn't allow that to keep going on forward. So we know what we have to do at all times and then work all week, every week, and play to where we can keep on winning and finally get to where we want to be in the end.
So I'll finish off with one last question here. What would be a successful season for you guys?
We've gone undefeated. We'd like to do that again, and this time make it all the way through playoffs.
Yeah, so we like last year, undefeated through regular season, and then we lose in the second round. That's not where we want to end at all. And last year we thought we had a good chance to make it all the way, but it just didn't happen. So this year, we'd like to make it and just hopefully win it all this year. We think we've got a good group and a group that's engaged and wants to do it. So I think we got a chance this year.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for being here with me today. I think you guys are going to have a really great year this year. I really do. You guys are going to have a good football team. Justin, we're going to break? Yep, we're going to go to break real quick, and then after this, we're going to have the Little Rock Southwest Griffins and Coach Chad Lewis here with us. Until then, we're going to go to a break real quick, and we'll be back right after this on the Arkansas Sports Network.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
And we're back here on the Arkansas Sports Network. I'm Carson Ward, here joined by Randy Pickrell. We are happy to have Coach Chadwick Lewis here from the Little Rock Southwest Griffins. I was able to interview Coach Lewis last offseason. It was a great interview. Really enjoyed talking to you. And we are really excited to hear about what he has to say about his program again this year. So, Coach, tell me, just give me a little bit of an overview about what is going on at Little Rock Southwest right now. Obviously, you guys are still a new school relative to the rest of the state. So tell me a little bit about what's going on with your football program right now.
We're working hard. Every day we come in, put our lunch pail, put our hard hat on, get our sledgehammer, and we go to work. That's my mindset. That's how I've always been. We have to go out and earn the respect. 'Cause like you said, we're a new school. A lot of people still don't know us. They still kind of reference McClellan and J.A. Fair, but those schools are now part of Little Rock Southwest. So, we just, like I said, we come to work every day, trying to get better every day, 1% better every single day that we come to work.
So you've got what I like to call the SEC of Arkansas high school football, yes, with the 7A Central, and that's just a rough conference every year. You have Bryant, who's the defending state champions. You have Conway, whose head coach has won a lot of state championships. You've got Little Rock Christian, who's a contender every year and won a lot of state championships in the 5A and had a lot of success in 6A as well. You have Pulaski Academy, who's one of the most storied programs in the entire state. I mean, the list goes on. Yes. We could sit here and talk about it for a long time, but just tell me a little bit about your schedule this year and how you guys are planning to work through that tough conference.
We come to, like I said, we come to work every day. We don't back down from a challenge. I grew up in Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, played football for Coach Suggs at Byrd High School. And so he was kind of the same way. We didn't back down from any competition that we were going up against. I like facing that kind of competition. It gets you ready for life because life is tough. So our conference is tough. So like I said, we're going to go out there. We're going to lay it on the line. Any given Friday, you never know what can happen. And I try to make sure my boys have that same kind of mindset when they walk on that field as well.
So tell me a little bit about your senior class this year. Obviously, you've been there a few years now. I believe last year was your first year, correct? So now you've been able to have a full off season with your guys. So tell me a little bit about your senior class that you have this year.
The senior class is growing up to be good leaders, and that's the one thing that you want from your seniors. Lead by vocal and lead by example as well. Many of them are working very hard. A lot of the younger guys are looking up to them. They have gotten to the point now they lead workouts. It's no longer head coach going in the locker room saying, hey, let's go. It's 3:20. Let's go. We're supposed to be on the field in 5 minutes. They're saying, hey, it's 5 minutes. Let's go get on the field. And, we don't have to be out there on the field with them to start warm-up. They're starting warm-ups now. So that's how you know when you get your program turned around and getting it going in the right direction. And so, like I said, it's a very good senior class. We may not have the individual talent that we may have had last year, but as a group, I think we were pretty good this year.
That talent, that leadership, that's big.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about it. Somebody's got you.
Yes,
you got the team where they need to be when they need to be there. So, it's not something everybody has.
No, it's not.
Especially in the bigger schools.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your coaching staff. You've now had your first off season, your first full off season really, and first full school year there at Little Rock Southwest. So tell me about the coaching staff that you've put together up to this point.
We got a mixture of some older guys and some younger guys. My offensive coordinator is Dorian Nelson. He's from New Orleans, Louisiana, so it's another home guy. Kind of have the same mindset offensively. I'm a former offensive coordinator. Do a lot of the same stuff, RPOs and stuff like that. Veteran coach, coached in the state championship in Louisiana as well, like myself. Defense coordinator is Ray Sessions. Been around the Central Arkansas area a long time. Again, one of the best minds as a defensive coordinator I've ever met. He is who he is. He's going to tell you how he feel. But I love having him around. Another guy with over 25 years experience. Got some young guys in there that are learning the ropes, trying to get to that next level. And I tell them all the time, my goal is to help everybody get to that wherever you want to go to. So we got some first-year coaches. We got some 10-year coaches. We got some 5-year coaches. We got some 25, 30-year coaches. And I believe in having those veteran guys because they show, I've been in it 19 years, so a lot of people consider me a veteran. I don't for some reason. I kind of still consider myself a newbie, but I still learn a lot from them. They have the level head, that you can go, hey, Coach Mo, can you help me out with this decision? And Coach Mo, we'll sit down for a long time and we'll talk about it, and then it just kind of helps me. So, like I said, we have a good blend of a staff. We all work hard. We don't leave no stone unturned. We're going to fight and, make sure we have the best game plan. We're going to work our boys as hard as we can get them.
Tell me about what a Friday night is like at Little Rock Southwest.
Because it's a new school, still trying to get the school spirit the way it should be, and it's turning. This past season was one of our best athletically as a school. We made the playoff for the first time in school history. Basketball team had a very successful year. Track team had a good year. Wrestling team had a very good year. So we're turning that stone to get the school spirit the way we need to get it. But Friday night, we get here, we go eat at about 3 o'clock. We come in, we need to make any adjustments, meet a little bit. They get dressed, and when those lights come on, when we walk out there at 5:30 start warm-ups, our mindset is, hey, let's get to work. Let's have some fun. Let's fire up and down the football field all we can. And, we got a lot of passionate fans. I try to tune a lot of them out while I'm coaching. But I love them to death because they know that I'm going to work hard. I try to be a father figure, so I'm going to look out for their boys. So, and they want the best for the program as well.
Yeah, so talking a little bit about looking out for the young men on this team, what do you do as a coach to not just develop these guys as football players, but as young men as well?
I compare the game of football to life. You're going to work with a lot of people. So football, if you're a starter on offense, you got 10 other starters that you got to work with. You have supervisors, which is the coaches. All of those things go into life. Life's going to get hard sometimes. Football game's going to get hard. Do you back down and ball up and kind of start crying and say, hey, I'm getting defeated? Or do you, hey, my back against the wall, do I fight back? I think I told him yesterday, hey, as a man, you're gonna face bills that gonna come up. You're gonna have kids gonna get sick, different things like that. And you can't always say this is gonna happen this way. And football is the same way. So I try to use those two to parallel each other to make sure the boys are, because at the end of the day, yes, I want to win as many state championships as I can, win as many ball games as I can. But if I can help them become winners in life as well, I think at the end of the day, that's what they're going to remember the most.
That's what's important.
Yes.
What's going on down the road.
So tell me about what you guys are doing on your X's and O's part of your team this year, offensive and defensive.
Offensively, we're not going to be the vertical threat that we were last year. Last year we had Chase Forte, who had the arm strength to throw it probably 65, 70 yards down the field. We had a great tight end in Montreal Martin, who's actually was his first year at tight end. We don't have those guys to get the ball down the field, so we're going to lean a little bit more on the run game, quick passing game, a lot of RPOs this year. Just trying to get the ball out quick, help our young guys. Our quarterback's going to be a little younger, first-year starter. We got a quarterback battle going on right now. And I told both of them, hey, if you want it, go take it. Don't worry about friendships right now. You can be friends, yes, but, if you want to be that guy, just go be that guy. So just they're a little bit, they're athletic, so we're going to run them a little bit this year as well. Defensively, we're still of an odd man front. We might be in a 3-4-1 game. One series. Next series, we might be in a 3-3 stack. It just kind of depends on, what the game plan is going to entail. But for the most part, we're going to be the odd man front. Probably won't bring as much pressure. We'll probably kind of be more of a coverage team this year. But if we need to get after it, we're going to still be able to get after it.
Well, Coach, if you would, go ahead and introduce us to the two young men that you brought with you today.
I brought two seniors. One of them is Dylan Wynn. He's our starting center. He is basically the quarterback of the offensive line. He's going into his second year starting. He is the strongest guy on our team. Benching in over 300, squatting over 400, power cleaning over 250. Smartest guy on our team at a 4.0 GPA. And he tells every offensive lineman what to do.
He knows all their positions.
He knows everybody, all their positions. So I make sure we leave him at center so he can tell the right side and the left side what to do. Then I brought also T.J. Smith. He's going into his first full year starting as a receiver, but another kid that's been leading the team as well. He's helping the younger guys learn routes. He's been a receiver, but he kind of helps us out at running back a little bit. So he's going to be kind of that little Swiss Army knife that we like to have. But they're two of our, my top guys. And he's another 3.2 student as well. Because I push academics, and they'll tell you if I'm gonna preach about anything, I'm gonna preach about making sure you're doing well in the books.
Good for you, man. That's important right there.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's all we need from you, Coach. If you would, just go ahead and hand it off to your guys here. All right, if you would, just go ahead and tell the camera a little bit about yourselves.
My name is Dylan Huynh. I am a second-year starter here at Southwest High School. Been here since my freshman year, and I'm ready to work.
T.J. Smith, my first full year. Plan to keep being a leader and do what I can to help this team win.
So, Dylan, I'll start with you. What is it like playing for Coach Lewis?
It's a blessing. Back when I was a freshman, I played with Daryl Patton, and I really didn't get the recognition that I really needed. So that's like my motivation to work hard. And when Coach Lewis came, he looked at me, and then he saw something in me that I never saw before. And he's like a father figure to me, and made me like who I am today. And that's why I'm like a second-year starter, and that's why I work hard every day.
And TJ, how about you?
For me, man, Coach Lewis, man, I don't just see him as a coach. I see him as a father figure, as an uncle. He's always there for me. I can call on him outside of football if I need him for anything, for any advice. And I really do appreciate that. And to be honest, he really gave me my first opportunity at generally just playing the game of football in general. And I really do appreciate him for that.
So tell me a little bit about, you guys are playing for a pretty new school here in Little Rock Southwest.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about what you guys are liking about how the school is coming together.
What I like about the school coming together is our community and how we lead the young people or the young players, and then we basically build our brotherhood, and that's like one thing that about us that we have is a brotherhood. Other than last year where it was like focused on seniors, and the other year that was focused on first team, second team, we're focused on everyone, and we're here to bring the heat.
Like he said, we a brotherhood. Like last year, we had too many off the field issues and like too many egos, and like this year, all of that's gone. We got more leaders. The younger guys are following behind each other, and we just much more of a brotherhood.
So talk to me a little bit about what your expectations are for the team this year, and just a little bit about what you guys think would be a successful year for your team.
I think what we need to focus on is execution. We got to execute and execute and execute every play that we have in the books, whether it's offensively or defensively. We got to focus on like what's ahead of us instead of what's behind us. One play goes down, we can't just back down. We have to get back up, and we have to do our best every play and go hard every play. And yeah.
For me, I say consistency. I mean, because it be times where we execute, and then, like he said, a guy might hang his hat because he might be tired or a play didn't go as he wanted. So I feel like we can just be more consistent. I feel like we won a lot more ball games.
So tell me a little bit about your schedule this year. Obviously, you guys play in what I think is the toughest conference in the state. I mean, it's really tough. And this city is a tough place to play as well, really. So tell me a little bit about your schedule. Are there any games that you guys are really, really looking forward to playing?
Man, we coming for it all. I'm not going to lie. We coming for it all. But mainly our rivals are Central. Central, we always beat them, and we going to beat them again this year. Cabot and Little Rock Christian and North Little Rock are like, those schools are like the really, really close schools that we could have won. And we did win some. But, yeah, we come for it all this season.
We want everybody in the conference. Like, we really feel like we actually have, like, a way better chance. Like, we want everybody. I want to get a ring this year.
Yeah.
I don't want to go 2-8. I don't want to just barely scrape the playoffs. I want it all.
Yeah.
I want to go out senior year with a bang.
Yeah, you guys are definitely going to have a lot of competition to play. And it's not just your conference. It's just this area of Arkansas is tough. It really is. This city has a lot of history of football as well. And so you guys are kind of the new guys in town, and so you have to make a name for yourselves, right? And so that's really, really a good motivation to have, that we're ready to bring it. So talk to me a little bit about what it's like playing in Arkansas or in Little Rock. I mean, this is, like I was talking about, this is a good place to play football. So is there anything that stands out to you guys about playing in this area?
Pretty much the competition. It's really hard, but we, like Coach Lewis said, we're good for competition. Other than that, it's pretty fun. It's fun to play other people, and we're like we know like some people that from Bryan, from Conway, from everybody else. So it's basically like we just friends. But other than that, on the field, we're enemies now.
Just to go on the way he's saying, like, even though Central a pretty big area, we know a lot of people around here. We cross paths with a lot of people, grew up with a lot of people, whether, like he said, in Benton or Bryant or just anywhere in Little Rock or North Little Rock. It's like just being able to play against them, it just make it way more fun as well.
All right. Well, this has been a great interview with you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming down here and talking to us. Justin, we're going to go to a break, and then we will be right back. I believe Baptist Prep is next up on deck. So Baptist Prep will be coming in and talking to us. Gentlemen, thank you for coming here and talking to us today. Coach, thank you for coming and talking to us. Really appreciate it. We're going to go to a break real quick, and then we will be back with the Baptist Prep Eagles.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
And we're live here from Baptist Prep High School, and we have the Baptist Prep Eagles here with us. First of all, thank you guys for having us today. We've really enjoyed being here and getting able to talk to some of these coaches. It's been really, really great.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited for you guys to be here and to do this media day with you guys and be a part of it. So, yeah, we're thankful you guys chose us.
I'm Carson Ward here with Randy Pickrell and Coach Riley Perkins, the head football coach here for the Baptist Prep Eagles. Coach Perkins, just tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing here. You guys pride yourselves on being a little bit different than what other teams do. So tell me just an overview of what Baptist Prep football is all about right now.
Yeah, I think one thing that we've gone into this offseason with specifically, when we got here, we were in a little different of a state as a program when our staff got here a few years ago, to the point where, you know, we kind of came into it with the expectation that we were kind of going to have to start over and rebuild. And so we did that in our first year. We won 3 games after they didn't win a game. And then this past year we won 5. We still missed out on the playoffs, but we set kind of the foundation, you know, the past few years for who we want to be. And so this year we want to take another step in the right direction and do it with kind of a new level of toughness and just physicality in the game that we have kind of tried to instill in our guys through our off-season program that we've done. And, you know, we're going to be starting a lot of the same guys this year in key spots. At the same time, a lot of those guys played at 160 pounds last year, and they may play at 200 pounds this year. So I'm excited to see their jump and just the physicality in practice and doing some 7-on-7s and stuff like that. We kind of have gone from maybe being down here with some of the big dogs to where now maybe we're a little right here. So, yeah, we've closed the gap for sure. And I think we have enough leadership on the team this year that gap could be, you know, completely eliminated. Depending on our approach and things like that. We'll have to play well to beat some teams. It is what it is. But the gap is significantly, you know, closer to some of those top-tier teams than it was 2 years ago. And at the end of the day, that's why we're here to do what we do.
If your players notice that helps a lot.
Absolutely. And I think this is the this is the first year going into it. The past few years, our guys believed. They always did. But when you got on the field, you could see significant differences. And you can only do what you can do,
You're exactly right.
And so this year is the first year, even going to some of the 7-on-7s and playing some really good football teams that we haven't matched up with well in the past. Even just seeing their bodies versus our bodies, it's like, okay, now we're here to compete.
Yeah.
And that's shown a lot in some of our 7-on-7s and some of our summer stuff that we've done. So excited to see that with pads on.
So talk to me a little bit about what you guys lost from last season, maybe some seniors that you guys won't have this year, and then some guys that you're bringing back. From what it sounds like, your team has really taken a step forward with the guys that you have brought back. And also, it seems like you guys have a lot of production coming back. So tell me a little bit about that.
We do. We have, first of all, before we talk about this team, I guess, from our 9th grade moving up to 10th grade this year, coming off of a junior high conference championship team, some really good players that are going to be key impacts for us this year with a running back, Levi Sanders, who ran for 800 yards last year in junior high. He's quick. He's a small guy, but he's fast, and he can really put on the jets and go, which is something that we haven't had as much of in the past in terms of speed. And then we have, there's a long list of guys, receivers that are going to come help that are moving up from 9th to 10th. Miles Smith is a big offensive lineman and defensive lineman that we'll have that, him and Chris Ivy are two guys that, dominated junior high football last year. And so I'm excited to see that translate. And then with the guys we have coming back, we did lose some. We lost a few offensive linemen. And as I hate to say it, but we're in a better spot. Obviously, great kids, great football players, but we're in a better spot to fill positions than we've ever been. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like as we get into the year. And then in terms of a lot of our production, we lost a receiver who put up some pretty good stats last year, Neil Pretty, but he was dinged up for a lot of the year. So I think he would have had more production, I guess, but we had to have – there was a lot of injuries and stuff that we faced last year that required some of our guys who are going to be back on this year's team to maybe take a little early step in the right direction last year that I think will really benefit us going into this year. A lot of our production is back, and at key positions specifically. Our offensive line depth is better than it's been in a long time with some big-bodied guys.
How long had it been since you'd won a junior high conference championship?
Probably 10 plus.
So you're instilling a winning tradition with those kids that are going to bring it up to your senior high
For
team.
sure. 2 years ago, I guess the year before we got here, there were 0 games won in the program from 7 through 12. They didn't win a game in high school, didn't win a game in junior high. Our first year, we won a few at both levels, and then this past year we had the best season in 13 years in high school and won that junior high conference
Just changing the mindset
absolutely
changes everything.
Absolutely, and we've got a great coaching staff. I'm super thankful for the guys that we do have. At the same time, a lot of it's on them as well. It's on the players that we have, and at some point you say I don't want to do that anymore, and you kind of have a fork in the road to a decision to make, whether you say I don't want to do that anymore, so I'm going to be done with it, or I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to lose anymore, so I'm going to change the way that we do things. And a lot of our guys have bought in completely to the way that we want to approach it. And we haven't had many guys walk away as much as they've said we want to be different and we want to get better. And so our numbers are better than they've been ever in the history of the school. And like I said, that is in large part due to great senior leadership that we do have, that guys want to be a part of it, as well as a great coaching staff of guys who are attractional, to players while still holding the guys accountable for doing their job. So we're in a great spot, and I think we have a lot of potential this year. But at this point, that's all it is potential, and we got to go turn it into something that's reality.
What's your big game this year?
Our big game,
other than the first one.
Yeah, that would be the answer for sure. Our schedule is tough in general. We start with Two Rivers, and then we go to Mountainburg, which is trending in the right direction for sure. They've got a great senior class and some big-bodied guys that will be it'll be great preparation for playing teams like Carlile and stuff like that as we get into the conference. At the same time, we have a big rivalry with Episcopal, so they're going to come over here every year, and both sides of the stadium are full, and
Right.
it's a fun environment. Both games, the last year and the year before, have come down to essentially Hail Marys. One was a 2-point conversion that we went for, and we won by 1. And then this past year we had a 4th and long, and we threw a bomb that we came down with a one-handed catch to win. So that's always a fun. Yeah, it's one. Yeah, he's sitting right over there. Both.
He let us know.
He did both. He actually was the 2-point conversion 2 years ago, and the touchdown to seal it last year, and then he made a game-saving pick I think 2 years ago when they got the ball back, and then last year made a tackle that kind of sealed it. So he's a great player, Aaron Fielder, and so. That's always a fun one. You can kind of throw the records out when you play that game because all of our kids know all of their kids, all their kids know all our kids, and it's a really fun when Coach Fortner does a good job over at Episcopal. He's a really good guy. I enjoy, getting to know him in the coaching profession and stuff like that. And then we get into conference and start it with the best. We have Carlile first and
is that here at Carlile?
It's here this year, so I'm excited for them to come here. We're also doing some things, just facility upgrades and stuff throughout the summer that, that'll be our second home game, and it'll be a great environment. It'll be fun. Hoping we can have a good non-conference, and they're Carlisle. They'll have a great non-conference stretch, and 2 solid football teams come in here week 4.
Where's Hazen?
Hazen Hazen was here last year. We go there.
What part of the year is that? Late in the season?
We're playing week 7. So
okay, mosquitoes won't be so bad.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked about that actually. We have Carlisle week 4, then it's Bearden, England, Hazen, and you kind of get in. So you have a tough stretch right in the middle there, and then it's Poe and Clarendon and Hampton. So we like where we stand. At the same time, there's going to be somebody across from us every week, and we play a bunch of teams that are historically and currently, some really, really good football teams who have a storied history. But we've got a lot of them here this year, and I think that's something that could really benefit us as well as we're just a different team than we've been.
It's nice to play at home.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love playing here. I did as a player when I went to school here. It's a fun place to play, and then I love, obviously it's great to play in front of your home fans, and we have great fans who travel with us, and it really benefits us a lot. And this year I think will be, one of the first years in a minute that we've given them something to truly follow, and I'm excited to see that.
Well, you have a nice mascot. I'm from Des Arc, so
okay.
We're both the Eagles.
Yeah, I love it. Can't go wrong there.
No.
Yeah, and me and Randy are both 2A guys. I went to Conway Christian, and he's a Des Arc guy. So talk to us a little bit about how you see yourselves in that landscape of 2A football.
Yeah. I think we could be one that sneaks up on a few people. Just player for player, are we going to match up on paper with some of the top-tier teams? No, we're not. But we're going to play a little bit of a different brand of football this year. And it'll be I don't know how to describe it at this moment other than it'll be different. We'll probably be one of the only teams that is going to play some of the style that we'll play in terms of how we formation and how we do some different things to try and eliminate some of that matchup, the matchup problems that could happen just in terms of body for body. And we want to run behind our offensive line. We have a 6'9", 300-pounder, and a 6'5", 300-pounder, and a 6'1", 310-pounder.
Well, that's pretty good size for 2A football.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's Junction City size, man.
We've got some great size guys, and a lot of we have some young 10th graders coming up who are going to fill those other spots. And 2 of our 10th graders actually started as freshmen last year for us, so they're 10th graders with a year of experience at the high school level already.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got a few players around the field that we can put in different spots and kind of be athletes more than position players, I guess, more than a receiver. Like Aaron may line up at receiver one play and quarterback one play and in the backfield one play, and Austin Herring is another one that was a key player for us last year who had 800 yards of offense, and half of it came receiving, half of it came rushing, so he threw a few scores as well. So we like to move our guys around to make it, where it's best for the team as a whole. and put up a lot of stats in different ways.
How big's your roster?
We're sitting right now about 35 high
That's
school.
pretty good size.
Yeah, I'm super thankful for it. In junior high, we have about 60.
Oh, wow.
So it's as big as the program has ever been. And like I said, I attribute that to the buy-in of the guys. I attribute that to a great coaching staff who does a good job. But we're right where we want to be. Going into year 3 of our new staff. And we added Carson Morado from the Bismarck staff, actually, who played for a state championship last year, and he's going to come coach our offensive line, defensive line. So our offensive coordinator came from Benton. So we have, we've got great coaches here. And now I think, this year is the year that we all agree, and I think our players are fully bought into the fact that, it's time to get over the hump and make a run.
You can take Conway Christian's last year's team. I mean, nobody really – 2 years ago, they didn't predict Conway Christian to be a state championship team.
Yeah, exactly. We were not good for
a
while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think we're poised to obviously you look at I don't blame anybody for any preseason rankings or anything like that. It is what it is. In our history, the past 10 years hasn't been something that has caught anybody's attention. I completely understand that, and I respect that decision. At the same time, I think this is a team that, we could sneak up on a few people, and we'll know where we stand pretty early in the season because we have some tough games early. Like I said, we have 4 or 5 straight in conference. That's like, whew, that's a stretch right there. And then some of our non-conference games are the same way, big, meaningful games to us. So, we'll know where we stand pretty early. But I love the pieces we've got. I love the buy-in from our team so far. I love the staff that we have. I love the support we get from the administration. So there's nothing I can say bad about it at this point. Obviously, when the bullets start flying, week 0, week 1, you figure it out pretty quick. But I like where we stand as of July.
Well, Coach, it's been great talking to you. I wish I could ask you more questions, but we're kind of running short on time here. Yeah. So go ahead and introduce the guys that you brought with you today.
Yeah, we have Nathan Self. He's going to be a senior right tackle for us. He's number 68. He's a player. On one of the publications recently, he was one of the top 4 offensive linemen in 2A on the 2A super team. And so I'm thankful he's one of ours, and he's a great player, and he'll do great for us as he's done the past 2 years as a starter. And then Aaron Fielder, like I said, who's kind of a utility player all around, 900 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns, and this year, we expect him to be all over the place to put him in the best matchup. So 2 great players here, and I think y'all will enjoy talking to him.
All right. Well, Coach, go ahead and bring him over here if you will. All right, we've got Aaron Fielder and Nathan Self here, 2 really talented players. I've seen you guys play before. You're really, really good players. So I'll start with you, Nathan. Tell me a little bit about what it's like playing for Coach Perkins, and tell me if you've seen have you been here? How long have you been here? Let me ask you.
15 years.
15. Okay, so you're a lifer pretty much.
Yes.
So tell me how you've seen the program, the football program, and the attitude change since Coach Perkins got here.
Well, he's a younger guy than I've had coach before, so I can relate to him more, So it's just real fun to play under him because he's out there tackling the dummies, He tackled one yesterday and hurt his shoulder. So that's pretty fun. And it's just fun to play under him.
Yeah. Aaron, what about you?
I mean, I would agree with Nathan there by, he brings, hype. He gets us going. Just really brings the momentum, vibe of the practice. It's great.
So, Nathan, tell me a little bit about the Baptist Prep offensive line unit this season.
Well, it's going to be me at right tackle so far. Me at right tackle, Christopher Ivey over at right guard, Carson Wake at center, Hutch Fenton or Chase Rhodes at left guard, and 6'8" Ben Bunch bring it up on the left side, left tackle. So it's going to kind of look like a wave. You got a 6'8" guy and about a 5'11" guy, then about a 6-foot guy, and then about a 5'9" guy, then about a 6'5" guy. So it's going to be kind of scary at some points, but they're all scrappy. We're all scrappy. So it should be good.
Aaron, tell me a little bit about the skill guys on your offense.
I mean, we got me to start. We have Austin Herring, who's going to be pretty good for us. Bigger guy, quicker. Ben Brown, he's fast. Going to be able to get the ball deep downfield. And we just have a bunch of depth to that. So, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your schedule this year. Are there any teams that either of you guys are really looking forward to playing against this year?
Episcopal.
Yeah, obviously Episcopal. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah. So tell me, working on that, tell me about how that rivalry has developed or changed in the last couple of years.
Well, it's a trophy game now. We got the Cantrell Cup, so we got that last year. And we won the year before that, but we didn't have the trophy. So that makes it a little more important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think like there's a bunch more like people gathered around it, so it's like a big event. It's a good game.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, you guys have improved every year since Coach Perkins has been here. Tell me about where you guys think that next step forward is going to be this season, and what would be a successful year for Baptist Prep.
Hosting a playoff game. That's what I want to do, host a playoff game.
I mean, obviously that state championship is up there, but, I mean, hosting a playoff game, winning record, making the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the brotherhood of this program and how you guys really get together and develop, just the brotherhood of football's a different sport because you have to go out there and basically put your life on the line sometimes. You're getting hit in the head. You're getting hit, all over the place. You never know when you're going to get hurt and maybe change your life. So tell me a little bit about the brotherhood and how you guys come together.
Well, we all like to eat. So we'll go to this place called Asia Buffet. That's where we like to go to eat after practice. Not usually after games we go to Taco Bell. So, I mean, that's a big part of me, just getting to go eat with the guys. So, yeah.
I mean, I would say, like you said, we're in the trenches every Friday night with the boys, and we go hang out off the field with each other every day. Just, yeah.
Yeah. Guys, it's been a pleasure. We're running short on time here. We got to get Dardanelle in here. So it's great talking to you guys. Thank you for being here. It's been great being at Baptist Prep today. So, again, you guys are real smart. You're going to have a good season, I think. So, but aside from that, I think we're going to go to a break real quick, and then we're going to get back into Dardanelle. Brad Caldwell is going to jump back in here with Randy Pickerel and talk to Coach Phil Vega and the Dardanelle Sand Lizards right here after a commercial break on the Arkansas Sports Network.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, we're back here at Hometown Sports Media Day, Volume 2. Appreciate you joining us here. And I'm trying to order pizza real quick because we're a little bit hungry as we get going here today. Coach Phil Vega joining us here from Dardanelle, fighting traffic all the way from I-40. And let me see if I got my pizza ordered. Let's see if it'll.
Must be an iPhone.
It's that service that we get in here not doing too well. We'll update that in a minute. I-40 not too good to you coming down here, right?
Well, we got a little behind traffic and so forth, so we had to test the engine on the school vehicle a little bit.
You got here right on time, so you did something right. So your Dardanelle Sand Lizards, I don't know that this year's any different than most years where you have expectations. I know there's some people talking, though. Tell me if this is true or not, because I honestly don't know. But I heard you returned 91 of 99 touchdowns from last year. Is that right?
Yes, that number is very close to correct.
Okay, so
yes,
so you return a lot.
Yes, sir. At the skill position, we return a lot, and we lost 3 linemen that will definitely be big pieces to replace.
Well, and that's the question mark, I guess, coming in, and of course that's a big one when you're talking about offensive line. Tell us. I know your program, but if somebody didn't know your program, what would you tell them about your program when it comes to replacing that offensive line and the physicality that you teach?
Well, we build a blue collar mentality over there at Dardanelle, and it's the next up mentality as well as far as when it comes to replacing those guys. We had guys step up last year. We lost a starting guard week 5 to a torn ACL, and had a guy step in and replaced him, and felt like we never lost a step and so forth. And we lose 3 linemen this year, both tackles and a center. Which we've replaced the center with a senior that was at guard last year for us, and then that guard that tore his ACL is back, and he's going to play one of the tackle spots. And then a young man, Gabe Burris, that only played on the O-line some in certain situations. He's our strongest kid on the football team. He will be the other tackle. So it does make him have to go both ways, and but so we've got pieces there, but it does make us a lot thinner up front as far as the depth is concerned. Those guys will have a lot more guys going both ways on the offensive line and defensive line than we would like, but we also have a couple young guys that we feel like could step up and play some big roles for us on both sides of the ball as well.
You scored enough points last year to got some kids some playing time.
Oh, absolutely. We got a lot of kids playing time. I think we mercy ruled every team in our conference, and so we were able to get a lot of kids playing time, and that's huge, not just a Monday night, but on a Friday night under in front of the bigger crowd and so forth, under the lights. It's a big deal for those guys to get reps.
Yep.
Yeah, it is, no doubt. I mean, that's it's different. You talk about practice and all those reps in practice. Those are great. When the lights are on, that's when it's different. You guys have been successful. Man, you guys got a good thing going over there. Y'all been running now for about 15 years. Well, longer than that, about 20 years, really. 20 years in running that y'all have been pretty successful, first or second in the conference most of the years. Last year, let's talk a little bit about it. You went to Elkins and got be
Our teeth
pretty
kicked
good.
in.
Yeah.
Got our teeth kicked in.
Go ahead and say it, right?
But by the end of the year, I mean, y'all took Arkadelphia down to the wire. I mean, you guys improved tremendously. What do you attribute that to?
We did. We improved immensely, and I felt like last year, beginning of the season, we had some question marks up front. We were able to move guys around. Of course, Elkins exploited every single question mark that we had. And like I said, they kicked their teeth in. And sometimes those beat downs are good for a football team. I think we thought we were a little bit better than we were, and so forth. And like I said, they exploited a lot of things. And we ended up getting back to work as a staff and as a team, and got back after it. And like I said, made some moves up front on the offensive line and so forth. And they ended up paying off for us. And heck, I felt like we got better every single week as the season went on. And I'd have loved an opportunity to play Elkins again. And so,
well, you almost got it.
Yeah, we almost did. We fought our little tails off against Arkadelphia and, gave them a really good football game.
Getting better every week is all you can ask for.
Yeah, absolutely. As a staff or a program, that's all you ask for each year.
I mean, you guys really did a good job over there. You always do a good job over there. I would say that if you weren't here or on TV. So I think you guys do an excellent job over there at Dardanelle. And speaking of that, you got to do an excellent job because you got some tough non-conference games coming up right off the bat, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you got Little Rock Hall. We go to Little Rock Hall, which is just a different place to play anyway. It's a huge stadium, and you dress in a daggum sweat box there and so forth. And anyway, I think they have the oldest turf in the state of Arkansas, and it's just a little different environment there. And then you go, and then we do have Elkins and Nashville at home. Which will be nice to have both of those teams at home, but both of those teams I think are definitely top 5 teams in the state of Arkansas. I mean, from the get-go, they're both very good and
good programs.
Yeah, absolutely, very good programs. And then Nashville with new coach coming in and so forth, Chester, I think they're going to be a very good football team and better than they were last year.
Yeah, Chester's going to bring toughness to them, no doubt about that. That's going to be right off the bat for them. So yeah, I agree with you. I think they're going to be very improved. You guys went down there last year. Probably a key win of your season, though, was winning at Nashville. I assume that gave you some confidence to help you guys improve.
Oh, absolutely. It was a huge momentum boost for us, especially after getting our teeth kicked in by Elkins and, going down to Nashville. And, heck, we talked about that on the way down here, on the ride here. We felt like that there at any time we could have mercy ruled Nashville. We had the ball up 21 and, end up turning it over, and they go down and hit a big bomb on us and so forth. And, and they've got a couple of those guys back that were their playmakers from last year. And, like I said, they're going to be a very good football team.
Your conference is on an upswing, in my opinion. I mean, Clinton, Mena both add a lot to that conference there. Lamar is always solid. Ozark and Pottsville as well right there, always solid. So, I mean, the conferences, I feel like the 4A4 conference doesn't get the credit I think that it deserves sometimes.
It's not as pretty, I guess, as some of the other conferences. There's not a lot of pass-oriented teams or teams that are in the spread. It's a little different brand of football. It's more smash-mouth football with the flex bone or the double wing, double slot, different things you see like that where it's more run-oriented than, what the other teams across the state are doing. So it does make it different, and it's a good brand of football, and our conference is very physical, and I agree. It's Clinton, Ozark, Mena are going to be very good football teams this year.
Definitely tough teams right there. Ozark, new coach there with Watson bringing new energy. I've heard that Clinton feels like they have one of their best teams that they've ever had. Mena came in last year and really kind of took the conference by storm. I mean, outside of y'all, you guys set up. I think they were 9-0 coming into the game. So, I mean, that was a really heck of a matchup. You've got at Mena at the end of the year this year. So, anyway, that's going to be a fun matchup there. Anything you want to highlight about your team before we bring your 2 players in?
Just really excited about this team. The work ethic that they've put in, and it's easy to get complacent when you've won a lot of games or been successful, and this team is that's not been the case at all. I mean, they've worked extremely hard, and I feel like have even stepped up their game more and have worked harder in the off season and this summer. This is as far as summer workouts, I mean, it's been the best we've had in several years of kids showing up and just eager to get back at it and get back on the football field.
All right. Tell us who you got here with you today.
I got Creed Vega, our quarterback, and Peyton Davis. Peyton plays guard for us and defensive end, and then Creed's a quarterback and outside linebacker.
All right, well, let's bring these guys in. Let's talk a little bit of football. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Everybody good? All right. Expectations at Dardanelle this year, right?
Yes, sir.
Look at him. He's smiling about it.
Nah, I feel like that I feel like we still have a lot to prove from last year, just because I feel like we sold ourselves short. So we beat ourselves. Like, Arkadelph's a great team and all that, and I know we put up a good game, but, like, take away that first quarter, and I really feel like we win the game. Like, I really feel like we beat ourselves, and just a lot of little mistakes that we got to clean up for this year. And, I mean, I feel like if we clean them up, I mean, we should have a really great season and just do pretty good all around.
Like to add to that?
Yeah, 100%. I think we should win a state championship this year, and nothing
okay.
short of that acceptable, to be honest.
I like it. I like it. Well, hey, look, you got to have confidence coming into the year. And, I mean, somebody might grab a hold of that and say, well, hey, what about us? But, there's a lot of teams that feel like they're going to win the state championship before the season starts. I mean, that's one of the things that's good about this is the optimism. Nobody's lost a game yet. Nobody's had a missed assignment yet. Nobody's had any injuries yet. It's just everybody's excited about football right now. So that's the fun part of what this is. But we also know that there are teams that come through here that have better opportunities than others. I mean, that's just the way it is. We do feel like that you guys are right there. We feel like that y'all are one of them. As I talked about with Coach Vega, you know him.
Yes, sir.
You know him a little bit.
No, pretty well.
You guys are returning 91 of 99 touchdowns on the year. I mean, that's something to hang your hat on right there.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about that experience returning? I know that there's some questions, and every football team has them. Every football team has questions that need to be answered. How do you feel like you're answering those questions in the off season right now?
I feel like we're trying to find just an identity up front. I mean, we don't have much depth, but I mean up front we're going to be pretty well. But I think that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Like who's going to step up and take the role as lead lineman and just be all around physical up front. I mean, if we can do that.
You?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we also need to just fill in some pieces up front, make sure that we get our depth figured out, and some young guys step up. I think we ought to be all right.
I mean, you guys play a good brand of football down there, and I mean, you never want to lean on the younger players, the youngest players on the team, the sophomores. But I also know that, you bring up good junior high players every year that come in and contribute. So we know that you're going to have some guys to lean on for sure. But you as a quarterback, what can you do to help your offensive line be better?
I really feel like I can help, just be more encouraging in a game. Like, when we played Elkins, don't like talking about that game, but, I mean, I'll be honest, I lost my cool kind of quick, and I feel like that really affected everyone else on the team, not just me. And I feel like that was something I learned throughout the season is to be more composed and hold my attitude and just be encouraging to them and just always let them know I got their back and everything.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we have an obligation up front to, take care of him, obviously, and, he does everything he can, so we just got to do the same thing.
When I think about Dardanelle, I think about just a physical brand of football. I mean, you guys will throw the football some, but, I mean, you start on the ground first, and then you go through the air after that. Defensively, let's talk a little bit about defense here. What do you guys got coming back on the defensive side of the ball?
We got most of our secondary, but then our linebackers, and we lost two. I think just two D-line. He can talk about more about that, but I feel like linebacker, I mean, we're young there for sure. We have two guys that have a little bit of experience, not much, but I mean, they're both pretty physical guys, so I mean, I think we should be all right.
You go both ways?
Yes, sir.
I knew he did. What do you think about your defensive line?
Yeah, I love the guys on D-line. I think they're all really talented, really. We got me coming back, defensive end, and all we're really missing is Trey, who's all-state. He's a really good football player, and then another all-conference player at tackle. But, we got guys coming in. Another guy played a little defensive end last year. He's pretty talented too. And, we got a sophomore up. He's really good. I mean, he's a good football player. He's ready to play some tackle.
We interviewed Elkins yesterday. Did y'all see that?
Yes, sir, I've seen it.
Oh, you saw it. Okay. All right. So I can't even play that joke on you because if you didn't see it, I was going to say that they said they were going to beat you 52-0 this year. I'm just kidding. They didn't. But, I look forward. You got 2 games there in the River Valley. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, we'd like to be at one of them, Elkins or Nashville, either one, if we can make it happen. I'm just saying, let's put that on the calendar. We'd like to be at one of those games. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys this year. I know that there are good expectations there at Dardanelle. Last question for you before we get Little Rock Christian in here. It will be a successful season at Dardanelle if?
It'll be a successful season if I think we just as a team come together and really just stay focused on our own jobs, like individual jobs, like he take care of what he's supposed to do and then I take care of what I'm supposed to do. And if we can all do that as a team, I feel like we'll be really successful.
Okay.
100%. We starts better in football games, really, and we all play together as a team, be more consistent, and we'll be all right.
All right. Dardanelle Sand Lizards coming in talking to us about their upcoming season, 4A4 conference. They are one of the favorites in the 4A this year, and we're looking forward to seeing what goes on at Dardanelle. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got Little Rock Christian coming in. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's so hot, you're going to think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not going to believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
Hello, we're back here at Baptist Prep High School as we just continue to run teams through the car wash today. And right now we got Dustin Grimmett of Little Rock Christian. Appreciate you, man, for coming in here and talking with us about your football team.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys having us and appreciate you highlighting our kids and the teams around Arkansas.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, and, man, they just keep coming here. We got Morrilton coming in here now. Let's talk about your team here, and obviously the interesting thing for you guys, you play by that multiplier,
Yep.
or whatever they call that,
Competitive equity.
competitive equity, where you guys play 7A football, and it's interesting because some of your private schools, you might play 4A basketball and 5A this and this. It's an interesting dynamic, but you guys are all the way at the top of 7A, but you guys were competitive last year in the 7A.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a tough move going up in classification. Football is a numbers game when it gets back to it, and we're a little bit of a disadvantage just because we don't have the numbers. We carry about 60 on our roster and play teams with over 100, week in, week out. But I think the exciting thing about it is, to spin it in a positive way, is you get to compete at the highest classification. And if you can win there, you can win anywhere in the state. So
you're running 4A numbers in 7A pretty much.
Essentially, yeah.
And I mean, what's that been like? I know, again, y'all were competitive last year. How did you keep your kids in it? How did you keep your kids engaged? How'd you keep from getting injured? I mean, those type of things, because you are playing against bigger, stronger, faster players, and something that you're not quite as used to as you would be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a battle. It's a battle week in and week out. I'm playing against the teams that we have to play against and the numbers we have to play against, but I think at the root of our program, we're a competitive program, and we want to be competitive no matter where we play. And I think our kids carry that mindset of, no matter what classification we're in and what classification they stick us in, we're going to compete no matter what. And so we just tried to carry that into last season, and we ended up with a winning conference record, hosting a home playoff game, and very proud of the way our kids competed last year.
That's pretty big.
Yep.
And not only do you play in the 7A, but you play in the 7A Central. And I mean, that right there in itself is a bear in itself. Now, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, 7A West is tough too. So, I mean, but there's something right now, for years the West was the top dog. I mean, I guess 13 years in a row or whatever it was, winning the state championship. Now that's kind of flipped, where the Central has been dominant for several years, and not only do you get to move up in classification, but you get to move up in the top conference in the state.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we see it as the SEC of Arkansas high school football. It's a big physical conference. There's a lot of speed, there's a lot of size, there's a lot of strength, and the coaches know what they're doing. They get their teams prepared every week, and I'd say the biggest difference is you have to come prepared every single week to play in this conference and do well.
You got a tough non-conference schedule right off the bat at Benton. I mean, those guys are right there at the top. Versus El Dorado, they come to you. And then at Shiloh Christian, I know that series right there has been a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some great games against them. Last year it came down to one of the last plays of the game. Unfortunately, we were on the wrong side of that. But I think our non-conference schedule does a good job in preparing us for the 7A Central, and that was purposeful. We wanted to play some good teams. Mm-hmm. We get El Dorado, who's very athletic and very fast, and he's got the speeds somewhat to be able to mimic the 7A Central, so that's good. Shiloh gives you the execution. West Memphis has got athletes, and so I think our non-conference does a good job of preparing us for that 7A Central schedule. The issue is you got to stay healthy through those games too.
Can't have any cupcakes during that stretch
right.
and get false hope or anything. Right.
So what do you have coming back for your team this year?
Yeah, so I'm extremely excited about this season. I'll say that first and foremost. I think we've got a really good senior class, and our junior and sophomore class kind of complement them really well. And we've got 9 guys coming back on offense, 4 guys on defense. We feel really strongly about the experience we have offensively. Last year, and I think against Conway we started 4 sophomores on the offensive line, which is tough against them. They're a good defensive team, and but that gave us experience, and I'm hoping to lean into that experience, especially up front. We've got our veteran group of receivers and quarterback, running back coming back, so excited about that. And then defensively, we got some big playmakers coming back.
Well, tell us a little bit about each one of those. Just kind of give us some names, run down the.
Yeah, so I'll start up front just because those guys are really important and valuable in the game of football. I think on the offensive line, we have Sheriff Wolf, who was a starter last year, sophomore, going to be a junior. We've got Christian Lewis has actually moved from nose guard to guard for us on the offensive side. He's a kid that last year he was about 6'7", 470 pounds. And he has really buckled down this offseason. He's lost a bunch of weight. We weighed him last week at like 378 pounds.
Oh, wow.
He's lost a lot of weight. He's always been super athletic, but just needed to be disciplined with his nutrition, and he started doing that. We're really excited about him. Obviously, that's a big body and can really move people. At center, we have Aiden Rogers, who's a very heady offensive lineman, very technical. He's got the body, too, to be a really good offensive lineman. At guard, we have Clayton Moran, who started at center for us last year. Him and Braxton Mayo are kind of competing for that spot. And then at right tackle, we got Skeet Bo Shears, who's a very athletic, strong offensive lineman who's actually played since he was a freshman up there. So, and then I'll talk about a few of the skill guys, to highlight some of the seniors, especially like Tristan Watson's a big-time playmaker for us at receiver. He was All-State last year, had over 1,000 yards receiving. Kemp Keller's our quarterback, threw for over 2,500 yards, I think 27 touchdowns. Getting, this second year under his belt's going to be huge. I think that first year was a big-time learning experience, and he made a lot of plays last year, but we're expecting more out of him this year. And then Jackson Ward, who's here with us today, is our running back, coming back from last year's, really kind of been a 2-year starter for us, and coming in as a senior on that third year, really looking to lean on his experience there. And then we've got other receivers that are going to be playmakers. I could talk about them all, but man, Pickens is going to be really good for us.
Right.
Gabe Schroeder, who plays safety, is a two-way player that's going to be good for us. And we've got several guys that we can lean on.
I think you've covered it pretty well here, Coach. Tell us who you got with you today.
Yeah, so we've got Gabe Schroeder with us today. He's a senior safety. I had over 100 tackles last year, 45 solos, big-time player on the defensive side of the ball. Also plays – he's our punt returner. He's our punter. He can do it all. And then we got Jackson Ward, who's like I said, been our bell cow for the past couple years at running back. He's a senior as well. Had over 700 yards last year, I think 10 touchdowns, and got him here with us today. So,
all right, well, let's bring him in.
Yeah.
Am I that far out of the shot there, Justin? Well, guys, you guys played a big-time program, one of the known programs in the state of Arkansas. I mean, there's only a few that are in that handful that you're in. So what's that like to play in that type of program?
Just playing in a program like that is really just a great opportunity for us. We get to prove, being a smaller team, we get to prove to the state that we can really compete at whatever level that they put us at.
Kind of to add on that, it's our numbers are smaller for sure, but it's cool to compete at a school that has so much background and also compete at one of the highest levels. I'll say that. It's awesome.
Well, it is the highest level. You're playing in the toughest conference. Bryant and Conway right off the top. Coach Boulding over at North Little Rock now, he's going to make those guys better. Little Rock Southwest, they come in, they're going to have athletes. Central's going to have athletes. I mean, Pulaski Academy, that's a gauntlet. Cabot, tradition rich. When I just reading that off right there, you've got to bring it every week. Benton, El Dorado, and Shiloh Christian at West Memphis. There's not too many weeks off in that schedule.
No, there's not. Kind of going off of last year, I think we kind of did better than what we were kind of people were expecting us to do, especially with a tough schedule like that. This year, we're kind of just trying to really make our mark and kind of stamp that we are definitely one of the best teams in 7A.
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest things for us, too, would be our preparation week in and week out. We got to prepare for every team like it's the state championship because every team's amazing. So we got to play with high energy every game and stuff like that.
Well, what game are you looking forward to the most?
Probably the Bryan game. We have to go down there and see them, and, just coming into it, we just have to play our best game. I think they'll definitely see a different team this year than they did last year. But, that's probably the most exciting game for me.
I'd probably say PA. They got to come to Little Rock Christian, and we lost last year pretty big, but to kind of go out senior year and beat kind of the town rival with us would be awesome. It'd be a great way.
It's got to be a nice built-in rivalry there across the board with PA. Yeah. You guys are just so similar in so many ways. You've had similar success. I know that met in state championship games, back in the teens. at least one and probably more than one now, that just off the top of my head. I know there was a big upset in there as well where Christian actually won that one. So, that's got to be a fun one to be at. Like I said, Conway, Bryant, I mean, those are the two top teams in the state right now as far as programs go. But Pulaski Academy's right there. I mean, I'm just in awe just watching that or looking at that, man. That's something. Tell us what each of you bring to the table for Little Rock Christian.
Kind of like what Coach Grimmer was saying. I've been a 2-year starter, having to come up behind Ronnie Inoki. Kind of just the experience. I'm kind of one of the glue guys on our team that kind of hold everything together. Yeah. Definitely a vocal leader. Just coming in, I feel like this senior year, I just have a lot to kind of prove to myself. I feel like I've definitely kind of left a little bit in the tank these past few years, especially as far as team success. But this year, I think we'll definitely be making a mark, especially with me being, the main guy.
I'd say one of my strengths would be coming downhill on defense as a safety, making like the big hits, setting the edge and stuff like that, where a lot of safeties don't do that. And then the other aspect of interceptions, making turnovers, finding the ball. And I'd say kind of a thing I need to work on would be to be more vocal. We don't have a bunch of vocal leaders on the team, and we need people to step up. So I think that's one area I need to be better at.
I like it. All right, guys, last thing real quick. It will be a successful season at Little Rock Christian if
we play to our potential. If we play to our potential, then without a doubt in my mind, we'll definitely be a state contending team.
I'd say we got to work on chemistry. We got to build brotherhood within our teammates and become like one so that we have each other's backs on a Friday night. And like he said, compete for a state championship.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in, and we want to say thank you to Little Rock Christian for bringing their football team in to talk to us here on the Arkansas Sports Network. And we've got the Morrilton Devil Dogs coming in here in just a moment. You're watching the HomeTown Sports Volume 2 Media Days right here live from Baptist Prep High School.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, welcome back into the Hometown Sports Volume 2. We're not even quite halfway through today. It has been quick, right?
It has. We've been busy.
I mean, it's been moving pretty quick here. Let's get right off the top. We want to say thank you to Merchant and Planters Bank of Clarendon for being a part of our regional sponsorship, along with Russellville Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. And then also our local sponsors. And Justin, we're going to have to get – oh, no, we got it on there. Never mind. We've got In Speech, and we've also got Conway County Farm Bureau, Ronnie Rainey. Got to get that out. Ronnie Rainey.
Get that right.
I got to get that out there. He is the agent there, and they jumped in on the sponsorship for the Morrilton Devil Dogs, so we can't thank them enough. And thank you, Coach McNabb, for coming in here and being a part of this. And, man, we're excited about the Devil Dogs. There's a lot of good things happening over in Morrilton.
Oh yeah, it's a good place, and it is a. We're returning a lot of good football players, a lot of guys that not just starters, but a lot of guys with experience, which makes a lot of things easier, from special teams to just the way practice runs and knowing the tempo of things. So we're excited. We've got a lot of our biggest group of seniors that we've had since we've been there for 16 years. So that's always a good thing. And a lot of them played last year, and a lot of them got experience as sophomores. So we're excited about this year like we are every year. This time of year, once dead period's over and the 4th of July is done,
it's ready to go, right?
It feels like it's go time for football around the state. And the Devil Dogs are excited and ready to go. We've hit the ground running and ready to get started.
How big is that senior class?
We've got, I counted last week, 31 kids, which is, usually like I said, the last 16 years we average anywhere from 15 to low 20s. Mid 20s is a really big group for us, a really big group, and to have 31, just we're blessed, and I'm proud of the kids for sticking it out. Football's hard, and anybody these days that is willing to put in the kind of time and effort and the work it takes to be a good football team and to be a part of the Devil Dog football program, I respect those kids and the time and commitment that they put in and their parents put in, to dragging them around and supporting them through that. So big class for us, and proud of this group and excited about the year.
Arkansas weather doesn't make the summer workouts easy.
No, it doesn't.
No.
And it's all changed. We've got the wet bulb, so you can't practice in the heat too much and all those kind of things. And so that's changed things a little bit, which makes it where they've got to, we don't have an indoor at Morrilton, so they've got to get up early in the morning and practice before school, usually at least through that open week, until we kind of transition back to the afternoons when we start conference season. But they're making some sacrifices there and getting up early, and we usually do our practice stuff early and then our film and weight stuff in the afternoon. So that's changed things the last couple of years as well.
You got to want to do it.
No question. It's a hard sport, and And you know, it's one of those things. You so much about football equates to life, and I'm sure you guys pull from what you learned in high school athletics, and you know, just that not avoiding doing hard things for kids is a great trait to learn, because there's so much convenience and ease and that kind of thing. Just them being willing and excited to do something that's hard is something that I think every kid needs to learn, and everybody that participates in football around the state will learn that for sure.
It's a little different dynamic in your household because you're the head football coach, but then your wife is the head girls basketball coach there.
Yeah, somebody's angry at our house all the time. I think that's the way that kind of goes. But yeah, she's let's see, this will be year 16 for me, and I think she'll start year 15. So we both, you know, it's been kind of our life's work at Morrilton High School, you know, and we've got some you know, it's just a great community. It's blue collar. It's a lot of those. It's supportive. It's a lot of those things that you want when you take a job, and fortunately we have that. I know we try not to take that for granted, but yeah, it's you know, she's a great reference for me, somebody I can we both bounce a lot of ideas off each other, and that's been I think good for both of us, and she's had a great run at Morrilton too, so it's worked for us. It's you know, our kids grew up in the field house or in the gym, one of those two places, and it's worked for our house anyway.
Well, that's good.
You guys finished 9-3 last year.
Yeah,
had a good run. I mean, you started out the season 6-0, 7-0, whatever it was.
Yep, 7-0.
7-0.
Right.
You had that 78-75 game, and
really, and didn't finish as well as we wanted to. And we did. We rebounded. Felt like the Farmington game took a lot out of us.
Sure.
You know, it was a great football game, and it was high level offense on both sides, more than, in my opinion, and I think Coach Tice would tell you the same thing, more than it was terrible defense on both sides. It was high level offense and just back and forth, and that one took a lot out of us, and we didn't play well the next week against Valonia, so dropped 2 in a row, and then bounced back to win our last conference game, and then got Searcy in the playoffs, and you know, had a chance, went to overtime with Valley View. So it ended a little earlier than we wanted to, but I think that adds to our hunger this year. I felt like we've been a hungry football team. We had a taste of success with the way we started the season, and this team just feels like one that is very hungry and very driven this year.
Your 3 losses were by 13 points.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You was a bounce of the ball each game to be another, you know.
Absolutely, but we also won several close games like that. You know, it could Russellville, we got a big lead, they stormed back, and we held on for that one. Greenbrier was a very close game. Alma, we make a stop on a 2-point conversion, win by 1. So it was a year that was full of close games. We won some, we lost some, and I think you learn a lot from those kind of games.
From close
too.
games,
no
that's
question.
my opinion. You learn.
And I think that having learned that will carry into this year, you know, and that's something you can always draw from. You're never out of it. You're always in a game, that kind of thing. So I feel like we've taken a lot of lessons, good and bad, from those.
Well, and I do think more than ever now you are still in a ball game because of the way offense is played now.
Oh, no question.
It's just different. And I mean, people can say bad defense all they want to, but scheme is tough now.
It's. I think you're right. I think in all levels.
Yeah.
You know, used to. I remember when I started coaching, it was, you know, you wanted to hold teams to 13 points or less was on everybody's goal board.
Mm-hmm.
And now that'd be, you know, it's not even feasible to hold a good team to something like that. You know, it's just a lot more possessions, and the way certainly the way we play very fast, and that's something I'm proud of our kids and staff is that couple of years ago we ran the ball a bunch and played good defense and good special teams and got in the playoffs doing it that way. So, and now we can throw it and catch it at a really high level for a high school football team, and that was we needed to go fast. We needed the possessions. We need a lot of possessions, and we felt like we could outscore people, and we were able to win games like that. So proud of the staff to adapt. That's high school football. You don't get to pick the ones that you have, and you have to mold your scheme around the strengths of your players, and I really thought the staff did a good job.
That says a lot about your staff to be able to do that, to see what you got, make it work.
That's right, and not be locked into we play this way. And I'm sure it'll be a little bit different this year than it was last year. We've got some new players that we'll have and be a year older. So you kind of figure that out. Try to figure that out as quick as you can, especially in the non-conference, and then be ready to roll when you're
your schedule sets up tough this year. Sure. Just looking at it, I mean, you're at Russellville, is that right?
Yeah, at Russellville,
at Texarkana,
at Texarkana,
at Greenbrier, at Harrison, at Farmington. I mean, those are tough.
A lot of tough games on the road, and that's where I feel very. I think we all feel very blessed, very fortunate to have those seniors that have kind of been through those fires. A year ago, that would have. I would have really been nervous about that, and now that we kind of know who we are and have been through some of those tough games, I think we'll be able to handle it better than what we would have a year ago or 2 years ago. And but very tough schedule, and a lot of, like you said, our toughest games will be on the road.
Yeah, I mean, looking at your home schedule, Whitehall, Alma, Pea Ridge, Valonia, Clarksville. I mean, not to say anything against those teams, but that tougher part of the schedule is definitely on the road.
We'll probably be on the road, and you've got to win at any kind of high level, you better be able to play. You better be ready at home and not let any of those slip away, and you better be ready to go when you go to somebody else's house to play.
All right, you got 3 of those guys with us. So here's what we need. I need the last one needs to be the best talker. I need the one that's going to talk the most. So the other 2 can come in first, and then we want the talker to come in last.
Boy, that's a tough one. I got two talkers. We'll let the quarterback go last because everybody wants to hear from the quarterback,
right.
So we'll let him go last and let the other two come.
All right, well, tell us who we got coming in here.
All right, we got Jamarcus Sandage is coming up right now. He's a returning receiver, plays corner for us, had some big numbers last year, and Champ McNabb with him will be coming up next, and then Maddox Berry after that. So we'll finish out with him. Sound good?
Sounds good. All right, y'all ready to go? Champ McNabb, you know a little bit about this coach over here? You know something about him?
Whole lot about him.
And, it is interesting. We've actually we just had a son that came in and now another one. And it seems like that's a theme, a common theme with what we got going on right now. You got coach's sons coming in. What's it like playing? You're not just a coach's son in the football, but, you got a mom that's a coach as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult. It gets a little harder on me sometimes, but I grew up in a competitive household, and I was determined not to let him affect how I play on the field.
Well, there you go. That's a pretty good answer right there. Tell me what you bring to the Devil Dogs.
I'll say grit, toughness, and I guess a little competitiveness.
Oh, you need that closer.
Competitiveness,
competitiveness, yeah.
Just a lot of leadership. I think I'm pretty vocal around there.
Yeah.
Need a little bit.
So you're probably a little bit more outgoing on the football field than you are right here. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not really. This ain't my strong.
That's all right. That's all right, man. You just do the best that you can. Tell me tell me a little bit about what your expectations are for this season.
I think we got a really good team coming back. I mean, he mentioned we got over 30 seniors. We got a lot of experience, a lot of players who have played for 2 years and so I think we could be dangerous.
Yeah. What about you?
I think we got a lot of returning. You know, obviously we've been working and stuff. We got places to improve on, and then places where we are pretty good at still. We still got room to improve. But I feel like we've been working hard and just ready for the season to come.
Ready for the season to come. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go on this one here. It will be a successful season at Morrilton if.
I think, obviously last year, you mentioned the Farmington game, 78-75, and a lot of high-powered offense. I think if we can kind of string the defense together a little more, and I think we can definitely do that. We've had a real high emphasis this offseason on defense, and I think they're going to be ready to go this year.
What do you think?
Just either get at the same record we were last year or improve our record and go farther in the playoffs.
Well, there you go. That's simple and to the point. Quarterback, come on in here. Y'all are free to go. Appreciate you for coming in.
Appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, come right there, man. $4,233 yards, 57 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions against 57 touchdowns. I mean, that's some numbers, man.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So how did we get there?
I mean, obviously I had elite playmakers around me. Jamar, Champ, a couple other receivers, some running backs, and the O-line played really good throughout the year. And so having just those guys that I can get the ball to and trust them to make plays really helped throughout the year.
I mean, that's a good answer, but you're the quarterback. You've got to get them the football, so you've got to do something on your own as well. And, look, I love the humbleness. I do. But I can be a little less humble for you and say that those are some unbelievable numbers for a high school player. 4,200 yards in 12 games comes out to a lot of yards per
Yes,
game,
sir, yeah.
right? Tell us a little bit about what your expectations are for this year.
I'm expecting to compete at a high level, and obviously I want to win a state championship. That's the goal, and I think we have a really talented team this year, and I think we're definitely one of those teams that's in the race for that.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with you. Bringing – and, again, I know that you have to be humble when you talk about this, but you bringing back a quarterback, everybody would be excited about bringing a quarterback with those type of numbers to come back. So I know that. Then you've got guys like these guys here. I don't think Dante Cox is here, right? Is that
No,
correct?
sir.
Dante Cox, 63 catches, 1,133 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's coming back as well. I mean, I know last year one of the things that would talk about Morrilton was the pass catchers, how elite that they were. How many of those guys do you bring back from last year?
Yeah, we're bringing 3 to 4 guys back that played a lot last year. And we lost Andrew Roden, who was obviously one of those guys that caught the ball a lot. But we've got a couple guys that are going to fill that role, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for us.
How do you, as the quarterback, I feel like this does play on you a little bit more than others when you have all these tough games on the road. You're the one that kind of has to keep everything calm. You got to be able to communicate through all of that. That's a whole little harder on the road than it is at home. How do you manage through all those tough road games?
I think just being a leader and calming everybody down when everybody needs to be calmed down. And obviously there's times to be excited, but I like playing in tough conditions. I think it challenges me and the team, and so I'm excited for that.
Well, man, I think you guys got a good thing going on over there. We want to thank In Speech once again, along with Conway County Farm Bureau, for being sponsors here. Last thing, real quick, before I get you out of here, it will be a successful season at Morrilton if.
For me, it's winning a state championship. If we don't win a state championship, I feel like we've let the town down for me. So that's the goal, and obviously we've been working really hard. And so I think that's what we're going for.
All right, there you go. Morrilton in it to win it this year, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens with the Devil Dogs and all the teams around the state of Arkansas. We've got North Little Rock coach Brad Bolding waiting on us in the wings. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here with more Hometown Sports Volume 2 in just a moment.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
It's so hot, you're gonna think my prices look like a mirage. Wrong. The prices on these trucks are the lowest prices ever. My trucks look different. Drink plenty of water and wipe your eyes. You're not gonna believe these prices. Go to D3 Auto Sales on Facebook right now.
From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
And we're back here from Baptist Prep High School. We are live here with myself, Carson Ward, Randy Pickrell, and Mr. Brad Bolding, the head football coach, the new head football coach over at North Little Rock High School, second stint. Coach, great to be back with you. I interviewed you last offseason. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it and looking forward to doing this again. So tell me a little bit about what went into your decision to go over to North Little Rock.
Yeah, so, you know, after you win 3, people kind of knock on your doors a little bit, and we've stayed in North Little Rock this whole time. My kids ended up graduating from there. I've got a son that's going to be an 8th grader. I mean, that kind of played into it. And, you know, I'm making more money. And I don't have to teach, so I get to focus all day on football-related things. And, you know, that's what I've always wanted to do anyway. And so to be able to do that at my what I hope is my last stop, this is where I plan on retiring from. And but, man, I mean, to be able to come back home, we got so many friends still in North Little Rock, so to be able to come back home and really call it home again was special to my wife and I. But it wasn't easy. I mean, it was not something that, you know, I was really looking to do. It was just something that kind of fell in my lap.
Well, it's big to be able to come back to home. I mean, you know, your son, an 8th grader, did he stay at North Little Rock?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's totally understandable. Money's just that's a bonus.
That's a bonus, 100%. I've never let money guide my direction. I've never let that kind of stuff, the popularity of a job or any of that. I look at is it a job that has an opportunity to put my stamp on it, of what I like to do and what I like to try to accomplish. And this is a program. I mean, it's an elite program. It has been for a while, but in the last couple of years they've kind of took it on the chin. So that's something that we've tried to build on in off season. But I knew going in that their athletes are walking the halls. I mean, I think they had 47 on their team last year. We have 97 now, and like 50 ninth graders. So our numbers are way up. We have, I think, 100 7th and 8th graders. So those numbers are way up. So it's really an exciting time there. And then we passed that big millage just recently. We're fixing to build it's going to be it's going to be unlike any high school in the state of Arkansas as far as an indoor goes.
It's going to be Texas standard.
It will be. It'll be almost 100 yards indoors. It's going to be right at 80. We're going to have 40 power racks. We're partnering with Baptist Health, so they'll be on one end. So, like, if your kid breaks a leg at halftime or breaks a leg, you can take him in there.
Oh, wow.
Have it x-rayed. At the college level, they're going to do some nutritional things for our players and provide protein, which is huge because I spend about $10,000 on protein a year for these guys. So all those things help you win. And so I'm excited to be able to what's crazy is I designed these facilities that we're currently in, and to be able to come back and be in them and see the mistakes that I made that, when I did design them, I can carry that over to this new facility that we're building. But it's just kind of odd to really just say all that, to say that hopefully this time around I'll be able to enjoy these facilities after we get them built. But it'll be a couple years. It'll be probably spring of 27. But I'll tell you, I'm excited for the future kids.
Did you say 47 on the roster last year?
Yeah.
I mean, that's big
7A
3A.
school?
Yeah, that's big 3A.
More than that at Parkview. So it had gone in a bad place. But, we don't live in the past. We absolutely move on, and these kids have done it, and they've embraced it, and we have really worked them hard. I mean, unlike probably they've ever worked in their entire career. I mean, it's what we do in off seasons is extremely hard, and for them to buy into it from an old boy that's just coming in January that they don't know.
You're not just an old boy, though. I mean, they might not know you, but somebody knows.
But I mean, it's just having to get in there and get them to buy into it. And that's sometimes hard,
That's hard these days.
Yes, sir.
We talked a little bit last time I spoke with you about what you did at Parkview to get them turned around and to get them to where you wanted them to be, just as far as winning ball games. And that's just winning games. That's, a culture can be a whole different thing. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now in North Little Rock to get that program turned around, because you talked about it a little bit. They were a really, really prestigious program for a long time. They have top-tier facilities. I went there last off-season as well, and so you've got some good things to work with there. So tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing to take steps every day to turn that around.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest part of that is done in the off season, starting in January, sometimes sooner. For them, it was obviously sooner because they didn't play in the playoffs. So they had plenty of time to kind of lick their wounds and figure out what needed to happen. And then I got hired and was able to come in there and kind of tweak a few things. I really just watched for the first couple of weeks. I wanted to kind of see I wanted my own opinion, because honestly, guys, I've never even watched any film from last year. I don't want to get a wrong impression of a kid based off of how he might have been coached.
Probably not any reason to watch that.
No, it's not really any reason to it. I wanted to give those kids that opportunity. And we have, and a lot of them, the ones that were average players last year, have become really good players. Part of that has to do with they're coachable and they listen, because it's every day, man. I mean, we're grinding it out on the field. So I think that part of it, and I know you mentioned culture, but culture is probably the most important thing of all that you do. It's because culture affects how they feel when they walk in the building. So if you're already whipped before you even get there, that affects everything, practices, games, and stuff like that. So if your culture's good, they might be running into the building. I mean, seriously, I've seen it. We had that way at Parkview. We're working on and getting it that way at North Little Rock. That takes time. It's kind of like wine. You don't just make wine and drink it. It's got to do its deal. and we got to do our deal, and we're working on that. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to be quicker this go around than it was the last time. It took me, I think, about 3 years to really turn the corner. I think that we can do that a lot faster just because of the things that are in place. So
that culture runs into the hallways and into the classrooms as well. I mean,
100%.
That's big there.
No doubt. I mean, to pony off that, the teachers, I think, have been some of the most exciting because there's accountability to everything they do. You come into class late, if you're the best player or the worst player, everybody is exactly the same on this team, and they can tell you that. You ask them those questions, I promise you, they tell you that. I'm probably even harder on our better players because I don't want them players to think, oh, well,
right,
he just got it made. He's a great player because Arkansas offered him. I don't care.
Yeah, higher standard.
Good for you. We're going to work. So standards definitely are huge for us, and we set the bars high. It gets harder and harder to raise those the more you win. You know, we ran into that at Parkview. But here, we're just getting them back on that winning streak again and getting them to believe, you know.
So you guys, obviously, we talked a little bit. I think it was off camera. We talked about you guys are already doing team camps with Bryant and Conway. Building on that a little bit, you guys play in what has been referred to today as the SEC of Arkansas high school football in the 7A Central. So just talk to me a little bit about your schedule, your non-conference. I'm not sure if you had anything to do with the non-conference schedule this year or not, but just tell me about what you're looking at in your non-conference games and then moving into conference, how you feel about playing such talented teams.
Yeah, so this year we got Rogers. We go up there. We got Benton and Catholic. Tried to keep the Catholic thing going, but they didn't want to do it. So I didn't have anything to do with this particular schedule. But the next year, it changes a little bit. We're going to keep Rogers and Benton, and then we're picking up Parkview. So we have to start that crap back over again, with the bowling bowl and all that stuff. But anyway, hopefully it'll be more about the kids than about me and my brother playing. So. But that's kind of where we're at. We're going to Rogers, and they're good. I mean, it's a good football team. They've done a really good job. I coached there before the split. I was there for 4 years, and so I know the kids up there, and I know a couple of the coaches that are there that were there when I was coaching, and they do a great job. So I mean, we come out of the gate. We're going to find out where our weaknesses, and that's what I really like to do in non-conference. And you know, if you've followed us at all, that I like to play tough football teams because they're going to expose what your weaknesses are. And Melissa last year, when I was at the last school, they didn't expose. Bryant did. So we went through 2 games before we realized we kind of had an idea, but there were some few positions that we had to tweak based off of playing somebody that was really, really good. And, good coaches expose those things, and once we fixed them, we didn't lose another game. As a matter of fact, most of the games were over at halftime. I'm not saying that arrogantly at all. I'm saying that just as a bragging on the players for buying in.
Well, that helps you get those players that wouldn't get to play otherwise some playing time. I mean, they're good in practice. I mean, it's no fun just to stand on the sideline.
That's right.
They want to play too.
That's right. 2s and 3s in the second half was a beautiful thing.
When you're resting your starters, nobody's getting hurt.
That's right. Especially when you get toward the playoffs.
Exactly.
Coming into this season, being a first-year coach on a team that didn't win many games last season. Did they win any games? No, they didn't win any games last season. So this is going to have to be a complete and total turnaround. So I'm curious what your expectation is for this team just for this season.
Yeah, it's a good question. I always have a high standard of expectation. I think when you ask these kids that can probably elaborate on it pretty well. I think for me coming in, it is, I'm still kind of shocked, to be quite honest with you, that they went 0-10. Just I was blown away by that just because I was here for 8 years and I know the type of players they're dealing with. So once you get past all that, you kind of start breaking it down and things, you start realizing that it was just a really bad culture. So that's been my main focus. I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here and feel like I'm saying the same thing over again, but, I mean, really for us, that's the main thing we've worked on is that culture aspect. And then, when you're playing, back to kind of your question about the 3 teams and the non-conference schedule, I want to play tough teams, and so I've tried to keep Rogers on the schedule and Benton this next cycle, and I obviously picked up Parkview because those teams. And sometimes, you know, I picked this up from Lunny Senior whenever I was a defensive coach and coaching against him. He used to always. Sometimes he'd be 0-3 and he'd win a state championship, like going into his conference play. But he didn't play anyone else that was even remotely close to those three teams. So there is a lot of value in picking up somebody that is really, really good and playing it, because then you start getting a little bit, you know, when your players are pretty, when you get your culture right and your team's pretty good, those end up being really fun. That Texas trip last year was a blast. It was fun to go into a stadium that's $65 million and it's packed, it's full of people, and
that's a different world down there, right?
Different world. And we're going to get that here. That's kind of what we're working toward, though. Hopefully I answered your question. I feel like I was kind of jumping
No, that's
around.
great. That's great. Coach, that's all the questions I got for you. We're running a little bit short on time, but go ahead and, if you will, introduce the two players you brought with you today.
Davion Withers and Zeke Lewis. Okay. Zeke is a running back for us, plays linebacker. I coach running backs. I told Zeke I would have loved to have coached him for 3 years, because someone's going to get a diamond in the rough. I think he's a SEC caliber running back with time. I mean, and Withers is a playmaker on both sides of the ball. We got to get him in really, really good shape so he doesn't have to come off the field, because when he's in good shape and doesn't have to come off the field, we're a better football team. So,
all right, go ahead and pass it off to them.
Yeah, you got the funny line of the day with the I got more money. you walked in. You have a doppelganger. Y'all favor quite a bit. He's
All right, gentlemen, good to have y'all here today. So we have Zeke here, and remind me of your name again.
Davian.
Davian, okay. So Davian and Zeke, I'll start with you, Davian. What has it been like playing under Coach Bolding this offseason?
It been pretty cool. It really tough. He been really on us, for real, making us better.
And Zeke, how's your experience been playing for him?
Tough. Somewhere in going through the summer, but it's been good.
So, you guys have obviously, you guys have been in North Little Rock for a little bit now, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
guys are now getting to see the changes that can be made from one coach to another. Tell me just a little bit about how maybe the practices have changed since Coach Bolding got there.
More discipline.
Yeah.
More discipline.
Faster. Somewhere. Everybody gets to play.
Yeah. More like together, like we all like together and stuff. And like when we break up, it's like it's a split second, but then we get right back together.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about your schedule this year. You guys obviously play in what I think is the hardest conference in the state. So tell me, are there any games on your schedule this year that you guys are really looking forward to, maybe a rivalry or just a team that you guys are really looking forward to get another shot at?
Central.
Yeah, and Catholic.
Catholic.
Yeah. Two Little Rock teams.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that'll be exciting. Talk to me a little bit about where you guys see yourself next season. I know that Coach Bolding said that he thinks that you can be a SEC running back, which is great. He's coached some guys that now play in the SEC, so he knows how to evaluate talent. But Davian, we'll start with you. Just tell me a little bit about what your goals are for this season and where you see yourself after the season's over.
I'm gonna try to like play my best, pick up a couple offers, try to make it to SEC, anything on that level, make it to the next level, basically.
Yeah.
Same as him, but hopefully we play as a team going through the season. No miscommunications. Just playing together as a team way better than last year. and just getting more wins.
Tell me about what you guys think that your goals are as a team this season, just as far as what you guys would consider a successful season at North Little Rock.
A winning record for starters. Getting those wins back that we named the Central, the Catholic. Just in general, just winning. Yeah. Better season.
Being able to be more disciplined on the field while coaches trying to call out plays or something like that.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for coming down here today. Really enjoyed talking to you. You guys have a really good coach, and I think you guys are going to have a much better season this year. So thank you guys for coming down here and talking to us. We're going to be back after this break. Conway Christian should be coming in anytime, and we will get back to the Hometown Sports Media Day right here on the Arkansas Sports Network.